What's happening, people? Tonight is the Premier League season review show, and joining me today is Niall from Let's Talk Premier League, Hassam from This Is Football, and Will from KH No Filter. Sorry, Latimus will be joining us soon. He's stuck in traffic or public transport issues or whatever, so he will be joining us. But guys, how are you doing?
Doing well. Although Chelsea were awful yesterday, we got top four, so I'm not too sad. Not too sad.
Judging by the way that Charles, you, Andrew, I thought Chelsea played ridiculously well yesterday. I mean, no one was shouting, no one was getting angry. Me and Rachel absolutely were not laughing at Chelsea fans yesterday on the stream. Absolutely not.
No, I had to leave that stream because some of the things I was saying about a couple of the players. Okay, you know.
Oh gosh, big up Max Tiger in the chat. And big up Liam. So guys, want to start off today just by going through the Premier League teams from 20th to 1st. Give some of the lower teams a bit of love. Just rate their season out of 10. What you think they've done well or not so well. Obviously, they've been relegated. Not a lot has gone well for them, so there's that. But we'll just discuss them, and then obviously we will go into a team of the season, which we will build. Anyone who disagrees or agrees with us, obviously, let us know in the comments. You know, I'm sure Niall's got a few interesting picks to put in there. There's going to be disagreements in that. So yeah, we're going to start off with.
FYI, no Arsenal player gets in there.
Yes, no. Please don't mention any Arsenal player in the team of the season. Come on, guys. Come on.
Yeah, no. Big up Mustafa. Excuse me, 8. No, that's fair. To be honest, what do you think? Well, we'll go through the United stuff. They're right at the end of this one. And big up Ryan as well.
Can I start with Sheffield?
Yeah, go for it. Start off with Sheffield.
I need to start with Sheffield. I have to say, like, you want me to rate them out of 10. I rate them 0 out of 10. Not even like lying. The drop off, like, I understand dropping off a little bit, like from what they did last season, maybe dropping off a little bit, getting into a little bit of a relegation fight and then winning it or losing it, etc. Sheffield have been relegated like a month into the Premier League season. They've been relegated arguably since the transfer window, when you spent 25 million on Ryan Brewster, who scored 0 Premier League goals, who has 0 Premier League experience. The decisions they've made in the transfer window are questionable at best. And I think they weren't ready. They know the second season. We've seen it 100 times. The second season is never like the first season. We've seen Wolves experience it. We've seen every single team in the Premier League experience it. And we're probably going to see Leeds experience it next season as well. So it's the same thing. But they were not ready whatsoever for the season. I feel like probably 3 or 4 games in, we knew Sheffield is going to get relegated already. So I'm literally going to give them a 0 out of 10. And I'm not even like trying to be harsh. I'm just going to give them a 0. Yeah. They deserve a 0, like 100% deserve a 0.
I feel really bad for them. I really do, because if you think, coming from a smaller team myself, I know that the fans have such an impact, especially when you're a team like Sheffield United. Because when fans aren't there, you have to rely on your technical ability. And let's be real, there's not much of that in the Sheffield United team, as there isn't in many of the teams. You look at Burnley, West Brom, there's not much technical ability down there. So I feel really, really bad for Sheffield United, but I do have to agree. I'll give them a 1, but if I'm being real, getting Ryan Brewster for 25 million was absolutely, that was
crazy.
Tragic.
That was horrific. That was, you could have spent that money in a much smarter way. They have had injuries, though. I think we have to be very aware of that. I think their right wing back that was injured, vital to how Sheffield United play. But no, I think it's an accumulation. The end of the season to the start of the season, the no pre-season would have had more of an effect on Sheffield United than it would per se a bigger team, because they do have that. They should have that extra depth, whereas Sheffield United don't have that depth to rotate. So there's been an awful lot for them, and I do feel from. I just hope that they use this season and they build better and come back stronger, because I do think they've got the capabilities within that club to be an established Premier League team. I just don't think they did it right now. So I think they just need to make sure when they go down that they keep the nucleus. They work on Brewster, because there's a good player there. They just need to work on him and work on getting the style to play to suit Brewster, because I don't think they did that. They simply they tried playing him as a target man essentially, and there's one thing with Rhian Brewster is he's not a target man. I mean, Argyle played against Rhian Brewster and he fell over the ball, so you could tell you could tell he was low on confidence when he's playing a League One club, and he literally just falls over the ball. Like he's trying to control the ball and he just falls over. Confidence is done when that happens to you.
Yeah, that's true. Big up Shane in the chat and big up Velvetron. Always here, always supporting. We always appreciate your comments and that. Will, what do you think of Sheffield United, or do you just want to move to West Brom?
I would give them. I would have given them a 1.5 if they kept Chris Wilder, because I felt like they would have had more chance of going up if they kept Chris Wilder. But he's gone, so I'm going to give them a 0. And you know what? I wouldn't say I'm happy they got relegated, because that'd be a bit sad coming from a Chelsea fan, you know. But they did beat us 3-0. So to all the Sheffield United fans that mocked me for weeks on end, I'm happy that you did get relegated.
You are so shameless.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Moving on to West Brom, obviously they are the other team that got relegated. 26 points, not a lot. How would you rate their season overall? The
Same as Sheffield United.
You want to go first? Go for it.
I just think it's the same as Sheffield United. I mean, you think they're what 3 points ahead of Sheffield United. Big Sam was meant to come in there and do open heart surgery. That is mad.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna give them a 1. I'm gonna give them a 1.
I'm up in mine to a 2. Just for that. That is incredible. But now West Brom, they've not done much more than Sheffield United. Sam Allardyce was meant to go in there and resurrect them from the dead, but his football's just not what is needed anymore. You see it with Jose, don't you? You see the football, that sort of defensive football no longer works, and I think that's why out of the 3, Fulham had the best chance, and even that is putting that at a push. I just don't think they did it the right way. Similar to what Will said about Wilder, I think they should have kept Slaven Bilic for the Championship next season, because Slaven is a good manager. There's no doubt about that. And now look, you've got rid of him. You've brought in Sam Allardyce for 4 months. He's now left you, and now you've just got to restart. Whereas if you had went down with Slaven, he knows the Championship. He would have got you back up. He would have got you back up. Yeah. They're very much like a Norwich, aren't they? Where they're just up and down, up and down. They're like a freaking yo-yo. They're like a yo-yo. So no.
1 out of 10 just for beating Chelsea.
1 out of 10 to just pick up on that, like them being a yo-yo club. This time, I hope the yo-yo just breaks and they stay down. I hope we never see West Bromwich Albion in the Premier League ever again. I hope we never see Sam Allardyce manage in the Premier League ever again. I'm just so sick of seeing that man being a football manager at Premier League level. I think this season, the 2 worst decisions that were made, like from a board perspective, number 1 is sacking Mourinho, like in a final week. The second worst decision is sacking Bilic after you draw 1-1 away at the Etihad.
Yeah,
that's actually like the level of disrespect. You go to Man City, you draw 1-1, and then you sack your manager as West Bromwich Albion. And then what's even worse than that, you don't hire someone who like can build something into the future, as Neil said, and like, or actually can get you back up from the Championship. You hire Sam Allardyce to try and stay safe, just playing the safe game. So I rate West Bromwich Albion's season also a 0 out of 10, just because for sacking Bilic after a 1-1 draw, I think
Yeah.
their decisions as well are very questionable. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but I feel Sheffield and West Bromwich, them two specifically, deserve a 0 because they never even had a chance, in my opinion.
No, that's
They
fair.
haven't built for the future, have they? For the championship, if you're going down, you sort of have to look to the future, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knew Sam Allardyce wasn't going to save you. You have to look to the future. And as someone who watches the championship on a regular basis, good luck. That's all I'm going to say. Look at Watford, not Watford, Norwich, with Daniel Farr. They kept him on, and guess what? They were promoted, I think, as champions. So
yeah.
Look, I think what Norwich have done is a real testament, and what these clubs that look, if you know you're going down, that is what you need to do. You need to stick by your manager and really work to the future. That's the only advice from a fan who actually knows what it's like to be in the EFL. Trust me, stick with the right people at the right times. Sam Allardyce was a complete wrong appointment, and I mean, we won't even get into Paul Heckingbottom. I mean, Jesus.
Just to quickly agree with with what you just said. Many examples as well. If you remember when Burnley got relegated under Sean Dyche the first time, they stuck with him as well. And look at them, basically an established Premier League club. So I think definitely the whole sticking with the manager thing would have been better for them. And as he said, Village knows the championship. So the least you could have got is a guaranteed promotion back up. And
So does
now
Wilder.
they can't even have that. They're basically going to build from the start one more time.
Yeah.
Matthias Pereira needs to leave West Brom. He's too good for them, says Velvish
He's leaving 100%. He's leaving.
Yeah, I
There's
think
no way
well.
he's staying at West Brom.
With West Brom's season, as Pereira and players like Diane Garner and Sam Johnson and players like that, they haven't left yet. I'm going to give them a 2. If they make the right appointment, I think they can go back up next year. If they either if they keep the players that they have right now, or they sell them and bring other options in. Personally, I think that Frank Lampard is a manager they should look at. I think he could be good for them. A different style of football, a better style of football.
There's two options. I think the favourites are Wilder or Lampard, and I think either of them would be a good signing for West Brom.
And I agree with Niall in the sense I don't necessarily agree with the defensive football doesn't work, but I think the defensive football, especially with lower teams in the Premier League, I think slowly that's just deteriorating. If you look at Leeds with Bielsa, if you look at even Fulham that got sadly relegated with Scott Parker, if you look at Brighton with Graham Potter, Southampton with Hassan Hutel, I think the Premier League in maybe 5 to 10 years' time could look a lot different in how teams play.
Yeah. Only Burnley, really, are the only team that managed to play defensive football but still maintain results. But I think that's because Sean Dyche has got such a structure there. The players know exactly what they're doing. I'm sure we'll get to Burnley soon, but I'm just saying in terms of defensive structure and what they do, because it's so regimented and because they've been there so long. Sean Dyche has been there so long. The players can understand that. It is true. I do think you're going to have to not open yourselves up, but you're going to have to play smarter in the Premier League if you want to maintain in the league. Just because of the level of players and the level of quality of the teams. Look at a Southampton and Brighton. The quality of teams near the bottom of the league, they're much different to what they were 10 years ago, where you could play absolutely disgusting defensive football and still get results.
Yeah, there's no shit housing anymore, really. How would you guys rate Fulham's season? So West Brom and Sheffield United. Well, Sheffield United is 0. West Brom is what, 0/1? 0.5?
Can I go first on this one, Rachel, with Fulham? I'm going to give them a 4 because it's confirmed that they're keeping Scott Parker. So I'd give them a 4 because I think maybe not next season because of the players that they're most likely going to lose. But I think maybe not next season, the season after. I think they could. I think they could really push for promotion again and get back up with him. And I hope when they next come up, they stay up as well. Because what Scott Parker, the way they play football under Scott Parker is really good to watch. So I do hope they come back up next year.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I like that Scott Parker sort of changed things up a bit halfway through the season, and it was a lot more positive. They went on a pretty good run, didn't they? Got a few good results. It's just a shame they fell off again because I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping they'd stay up over Newcastle, but Newcastle ended up finishing 12th, which is crazy into the season really when you think about it. But yeah, I was hoping Fulham would stay up, so it was really a shame to see them go down, to be honest. But how would you two rate the season? Obviously, Will's giving them a 4. How would you rate it, Hassam?
I'd say 4 as well for them. I think once again the same way we penalized West Bromwich Albion and Sheffield United for stupid decisions, we need to give credit to Fulham for not actually firing Scott Parker. And I think I'm just gonna take it and even like a further step from Will. He said maybe next season. I'm actually going for I actually fully expect them to come back to the Premier League next season, just because they kept the same manager. They fully believed in him. I genuinely think Fulham are going to be in the Premier League the season after. Obviously, they play in the Championship, so I'm going to give them a 4.
That's fair. What about you, Niall?
Yeah, similar to what both Will and Hassam have said in terms of sticking with Parker, knows the Championship very well. Scott Parker has already said he wants to do things differently, and for him to stay, he must have been given them reassurances in terms of how the club is going to progress forward. I think too many loans were taken, which I can understand. They spent the last time they were in the Premier League, they spent £100 million and still got relegated. So I do hear that. It's about spending your money wisely. You see it with all teams, right? Look at Chelsea, for example. They had to be resurrected with a world-class coach. That's not to say that the players they bought were trash, but they spent 250 million. Where's Ziyech been playing? That's as an example. So spend your money in the right way. You don't have to spend lots of money. Look at Newcastle; they were resurrected by a loan signing. Similar with West Ham, but invest the money correctly, play the right way, and stick with your manager. Keep the faith, because yes, you may go down, but if you keep the stability within the club, you're going to have a much better chance of going up. Because Scott Parker, the next time he comes up, he would have learned from these issues. He would have learned from the first time he was in the Prem. So, this his second time being in the Premier League with Fulham now?
Yeah, he got a few games. Unfortunately, he didn't get given enough time when they first got relegated. I think he played five games or
so this was his first full season in the Premier League. So he would have learned so much within just this season alone. And everyone is saying this is the hardest season that there has been in the Premier League due to obviously the pandemic. So he'd learned an awful lot from that. He'll come back stronger. He's a young manager still, learning on the job. So give him time, stick by him, which Fulham are doing, and look, you'll reap the rewards. As Hassam said, similar with Dyche, you keep the manager. Similar in Norwich, keep the manager, and the future is bright. This swapping of managers really helps nobody in a club, because that stability then goes.
No, that's fair enough. Before we move on to Burnley, do you guys think that Mitrovic should have played more games?
No.
Okay. No.
Overhyped, overrated.
Because I think Josh Maja, who they signed in January, I don't know if that was online. I think Josh Maja's a better player than Mitrovic.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, look, Scott would have had his reasons for not playing him, and clearly Mitrovic hasn't done enough to impress, and it's that whole cliche, isn't it? That I'm not gonna slap. If it was a different manager, I may make sort of a statement in terms of he was wrong. But with Scott Parker, I fully believe that he knows what he wants from a team. Mitrovic probably wasn't doing what he wanted, therefore doesn't play, and that's the thing. If it was a different manager like Jurgen Klopp, I'm joking by the way, I might be a bit more damning. But no, he's right to do what he did.
No, that's fair enough. Obviously, we touched on Burnley slightly with the others, but how would you rate Burnley's season out of 10 overall?
I'd give them a 6.5, because with what their squad for me is one of the worst in the Premier League. I think it's worse than Fulham. I think it's on a West Brom level, if I'm being honest. And what Sean Dyche has been able to do for so many seasons in a row with that team and overperform, I think it's quite spectacular, to be honest. So I'll give them a 6.5 because they stayed up. Because at the start of the season, I really expected them to go down, and he somehow turned it around again. So
yes, pick up Brian. It was. I agree with Brian as well. It was a tough season for all the promoted clubs. I think, obviously, we'll speak about Leeds in a bit, but it was quite a difficult season overall. I think for most clubs in the league, it was a very unusual season.
It's that turnaround, wasn't it? It was, especially for Fulham, because they were in the playoff final, weren't they? So that was even more sort of less time to rest and sort of work out what you're doing. I mean, especially if you're in the playoff final, do you plan on going up, or do you plan on staying in the Championship? Like, what's your sort of angle like that? Especially if so little time, because you sort of got a plan for both things. But no, it's been tough. But for Burnley, same with Will, really. I think Burnley are just such an interesting team. They're the team that plays this defensive football but gets results because they all believe in the manager's philosophy, the way the manager thinks. And look, do I think Sean Dyche would like to play a more expansive brand of football and really show his abilities in actually being a football manager? Yeah, I probably think he does. And the interesting bit for me is that he's apparently been backed in the summer, which is going to be quite an interesting one, because it's almost as if Burnley under Sean Dyche want to take themselves to that next level, take them potentially to a Brighton level. So it'll be fairly interesting to see how they do next season. You'd assume that they're going to try and be a bit more expansive, but they may stick with what they know. But they've been solid, as they always are. They're always near the bottom, but they're always picking up enough results and enough points to keep themselves safe.
No, that's fair enough. Obviously, Brighton and Hove Albion came 16th. Obviously, they're known for playing quite good football, to be fair. A lot of people enjoy watching them play. I like watching them play, to be fair. They got some very talented players. Obviously, Bissouma is one that's linked to Arsenal, but obviously a lot of other fans want him as well. How would you rate their season?
Who's starting? Someone start.
I don't mind. I'll go last
Right.
this time because I went first.
Oh yeah, Niall, you go first. I think you've been last a couple of times.
Go first.
It's okay. Let Hassam go first, and then I'll go after him. He didn't guess me at Burnley.
Just to quickly on Burnley, me personally, I feel like, I don't know, I'm the harshest one here, but I probably just say for Burnley, I'd give them a 2, and I'd give Sean Dyche a 10, because they spent 750,000 in the summer, not even 1 million, and he managed to keep that team up. So Burnley don't deserve credit. Sean Dyche deserves credit. Anyway, moving on to Brighton and Hove Albion.
Is that because are you salty about the fact that they beat you?
Nah.
You sure?
If I was salty, I'd give Sean Dyche a 2 and Burnley a 10. But I'm just being. they didn't back him, so I think he kept those players up somehow. So I'm just putting respect on his name. But Brighton, with Brighton, it's like sometimes you just look at them and you go like, are they gonna do a Bournemouth eventually, like come play exciting football for 5 years and then just go down, etc.? So there are so many things, but Craig Potter once again, like always, pulls it out of the bag. He plays entertaining football. You know what's the interesting part is, if Brighton actually had like people up front who can finish their chances, Brighton would generally be 10th, 9th, because of like the way they actually play football. So many chances created every single game. I think Brighton, just based on their position, I'll probably give them a 4.5. But I think that the manager has done well. But like, I can't rate someone who's 16th like very high. I'm just gonna give them 4.5.
No, that's fair.
I'm the opposite. There's history with Argyle and Brighton and Hove Albion and all of that. So Brighton are sort of. They are sort of like not my Prem team, but they're the team that I look at the most. They're the team that I'm like, I like them the most, because when we were in administration, all their fans came down and packed out a home park and helped us out there, and we've always had a good connection. So I love Brighton, and I love Potter. I think Graham Potter is arguably the best coach in the Premier League. Less so manager, but the best coach, mainly for the fact that you think about how he's got that team performing without a striker that can bag goals. Let's say that as well. Tactically, he is one of the best. I speak very highly of Graham Potter because it's not if they weren't creating chances, I would be a bit more on his back, but they create more chances than you can imagine. And I'm not going to get into this whole XG thing. Right? But the XG clearly says to me that he's doing the right things there. There's just no one up front taking them chances. So you get him a striker that's going to bag you 10, 15 goals a season. Guess what? You're going to, as Hassam said, you're going to fly up the table. In fact, you probably finish above Arsenal because they're that bad. So I predict if you can get your club, if Brighton can get a striker who will score you 10, 15 goals, you'll finish above Arsenal and Tottenham. Arsenal with it, if Arsenal carry on the way they have been over the next 5 years, they'll be relegated without a shadow of a doubt. They will be relegated.
I'm just waiting for the Corey Galti.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. Yep, no, I've said this before, and I've triggered many Arsenal fans, and I've been called Niall with 2 L's, and I've had Igal getting triggered twice by me. Must say he is awfully easy to trigger. But no, if Arsenal don't change their ways and start really investing into that squad and doing the things the right way and sacking their manager, they will be relegated in the next 5 years.
No, that's fair enough. Belbishran doesn't want any Hasenhüttl disrespect.
Hasenhüttl is not as Potter's better than Hasenhüttl.
Well, it's fitting that we're about to speak about Southampton. They finished 15th.
With Brighton, though, Rachel.
They're already coming for me. They're already coming for me.
With Brighton, Rachel, I'd give them a 6.5. What I think Potter's a wonderful manager, if I'm being honest. I think he's a European level, like a European football level of a coach. I think he's definitely in the top 8 managers in the Premier League. And I think Tottenham should go for him, if I'm being honest. They want a manager that plays good football, that gives young players a chance. And I think he'd be great in their rebuild.
No, I don't want him to ruin his life and career by going to Tottenham.
I don't want him to go there either. But
Will, stop saying shit like that. I want Southgate to. If England don't win, right? If I had to choose of England, so let's say England get to a semi-final, right? If I had the choice between a semi-final or get dumped out of the group stage, dump us out of the group stage, sack Southgate, put him at. Give him a Tottenham job, and we'll take Potter at England.
Actually, that's a good shout. Yeah, we'll do that.
Could you imagine this?
Thank you.
Could you imagine the dirty shit Potter would do with the Harry Kane up top of it, England?
Even better now. Could you imagine
with that amount of attacking players?
Could you imagine
Lord,
Tottenham fans going from Mourinho to Southgate? Oh my God.
that is the equivalent. That is Mourinho ball, but BTEC version. That is like
that would be a real North London derby because Southgate is Arteta's level as well. So it's going to be a tactical masterclass when they face each other.
You'd get Kieran Trippier coming back to Spurs.
It's going to be beautiful to watch.
Carl Walker and Trippier back to Spurs.
That would be so good. But yeah, I want Potter for the England job because I just think if you think of Sancho, Foden, Mount, Greenwood, Kane, the things Potter would get these lads doing to other nations, the French would be turned into English stunners within nights.
I think Realis isn't happy with you, Niall.
No one's happy
guys,
with me.
this is a closed panel today, unfortunately, but we might at the end, actually, when we do the team of the season, we might get callers in. Probably to overrule Niall's picks, I imagine. So, but for now it is a close panel.
If he's triggered now, wait till we talk about Arsenal, mate. If you're triggered now, I've only just mentioned about them being relegated. We haven't even discussed Arsenal yet. Wait till then.
Well, yeah. We're on Southampton now, though. But they finished 15th, 43 points. They had a very good start to the season. You remember they were top of the league for a little bit. Guys, rate their season out of 10. What do you think?
Southampton, I'll give them a 6. I think they were overhyped at the start of the season. I think Hassan Hüttl is an overhyped manager as well.
Oh my god.
Cried when he beat Liverpool. Everyone was saying, I saw Chelsea fans say they'd rather have him over Tuchel. Have some shame. Have some shame, whoever said that. You know who you are, Chelsea fans out there. So yeah, I'll give it a 6. It was an average season for them.
That's fair enough.
I think as well, I'd give them like probably a 5. As Will said, like their manager cried like they won the World Cup just because they beat us, and a week later Burnley come to Anfield and beat us. So like, congratulations, Hassan Hüttl. And then you concede 9 to United. But anyway, that said, I rate Hassan Hüttl as a manager, and I think Hassan Hüttl could actually start a project with Tottenham. I think if Tottenham want a manager, he would be perfect for them. But Southampton shouldn't have ended in this position. I think, like, if you think of how they were at the start of the season. So I'm just going to give him a 5. Just going to give Southampton a 5 standard.
Apparently Mason Greenwood has spoken. Ollie out and Hassan Hüttl in.
Jesus, Mason, you can't have that opinion. Jesus, mate.
Ollie is clear of Hassan Hüttl.
He is very clear. You want Graham Potter. I'm not joking. Graham Potter for any top club, but I want him for England.
Do you think Potter is better than Ollie? I think you could argue it. I think you could argue if Potter's better than Ollie. I think you could.
Do you know what?
I love Graham,
isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not saying that Ollie's a bad manager. I'm not saying that. He's not a bad manager. I think he's good.
It depends if we're looking overall manager or if we're splitting it into man management, tactical.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All of this, because maybe tactically he might be a bit better.
Yeah.
Man management, Ollie's the best manager in the league for man management alone. I mean, you think about the shit he's had to deal with. He's had Mino Raiola spouting his mouth off with God knows what. He's had so many issues. He's had to deal with the bloody Glazers. Ollie is the best man manager. I'm saying man manager, and people need to understand what that means. He is. That's just.
Okay, guys, we're not on United or Liverpool yet. Let's not make it into the debate.
Southampton. It's similar to what Hassan said about Burnley. I give Southampton a 0, but I give Hassan Hüttl like an 8 because. The depth at Southampton is utterly horrific. It's horrific. They've not bothered. They've not bothered to buy him any depth. They've not strengthened that team. So the owner's an absolute tosser. But Hassan Hüttl is a very good manager. So that's how I view it. But yeah, Hassan Hüttl an 8, but Southampton 0.
Oh, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Crystal Palace. Actually, so what was your one was 8 for Hassan Hüttl, 0 for Southampton. Yeah. Hassan, what was your rating?
For Southampton, just a 5.
Right, okay, cool. And Will's was 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of similar to what Shane said in the comments and that. Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Crystal Palace, guys. Finished 14th, 44 points. What are we thinking? Crystal Palace's season. How do you think it went?
Just average. Just literally, that's all you can say, really. It's just average season. There's not really, you can't even go into much detail about it. It's just average. They've not really blown anyone away. They were only really thumped by Liverpool. Really bad thumping the top. So, just average. But good luck in your retirement, Hodgson. You definitely should never have managed England, but thank you for your time in football. I hope not to see you ever again. But enjoy your retirement. Maybe as a pundit. Come back as a pundit if you want, but don't go back into management, buddy.
I think Roy Hodgson is the biggest con artist in football. This guy has managed at Inter Milan, he's managed at Liverpool, and he's managed England. He was such a good manager for Liverpool.
He was such a good manager for Liverpool. Some of the shit he was saying, like I was reading an article from The Athletic. Oh, the shithousery.
Unfortunately, I don't get triggered as easy as Arsenal fans. So we're gonna have to try harder.
It's okay, but Velvishwan's in the comments, so he'll get triggered by that.
No, he's too busy trying to stick up for Hassan Hüttl now that he's focused on Mustafa. He's not coming for you. He's not
Oh,
doing it.
nice.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Nice.
Cool. But yeah, Crystal Palace, guys. How would you rate their season?
Give them a 6. Maybe a 6.5, considering at the start of the season I thought they were going to get relegated. So I'll give them a 6.5. It's been a good season that they finished mid-table. It's not what I expect of them at the start of the season, but I think they've done decent. I don't think it's average, because that'd be hypocritical of me to say it's an average season when I thought they were going to go down.
That's fair. So for you, they've overachieved. Okay.
Yes.
I'm surprised you actually
Palace.
thought they were going to go down, to be fair. I thought they were quite
I
stable.
thought Eze was going to flop, and I thought Hodgson would just... Because
oh
of-
my goodness.
The players wanted Hodgson out for a while, I'm pretty sure. There's been a lot of reports, and the fans don't like him.
That's not the shocking thing you just said, Will. That's
Yes.
not the shocking thing you just said. You
Yeah.
think you said Eze? Oh my god!
I thought he was, but I was proven wrong. So
Yeah.
It happens, to be fair.
By about 700 miles.
Listen, Palace were just safe all season. They were never in danger. They just had their normal Palace season, just ruined 2 or 3 teams' like seasons, and that's it. Just was irrelevant all year. So I'm just gonna give them their standard 5 out of 10.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Niall?
Yeah, I just said they were average 5.
So 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Nothing really to say about Crystal Palace. I think
No.
there's quite a bit to say about Wolves, though, considering how they've been
Oh
the last
my
couple
goodness.
seasons. They finished 13th, 45 points. Not the best season for them, considering where they've been in the last couple of seasons. They've been pretty good, but this season not so much. So, Will, start us off. What do you make of
5.
Wolves' season?
actually, no, 4.5. They play awful football. They're going to lose all their best players in the summer. Nuno's gone, and they're getting relegated next season.
No, pretty clear there.
How can you even speak after that? Like that's just perfect. Like Nuno's gone. Then like that just summarizes it. Wolves season, I'm going to give it a 2. They've been boring all season. They've been horrendous all season. And like I don't know, I don't know why I'm just so aggressive right now and violent. But like Wolves, like I don't know, man. With Wolves, like just gonna give them a 2. They shouldn't be down there in the table. It's way too low for them. The football they've been playing is horrendous. It's the same shit. 3-5-2. Pass it to Speedy Gonzalez. Let him run at 5 guys and try to make something happen. I'm not interested. Wolves give them a 2. When Nuno's gone, they're done. Next season, relegation, 100%.
Unbelievable.
You know what? There isn't really much to add, is there?
No,
To be
there is.
fair,
There's
oh.
plenty to add to that. That's horrific. Utterly horrific. Are
Oh,
we
so you
forgetting
think-
that? I do. Are we forgetting that they had Raul Jimenez out for most of the season? Their striker, the guy who's going to get them all of their goals. They've had to rely on a juiced up Dan James, for goodness sake. Like, come on.
Niall, I
mean-
respect that if you keep the same energy when we get to Liverpool. Because you've said
Yeah, I will.
Because you've said
But-
atmosphere for Sheffield and you've said
Hey,
injuries now.
hey,
So both
hey,
of these
hey,
things,
hey.
remember.
Hey. I may have put You'll Never Walk Alone in the forward watch, but that's just because I like triggering people. Right?
Oh.
That's just me in a nutshell. I just like
Oh, no.
simply trigger people. But no, Wolves are an excellent team. I think they've been ridiculously unlucky with Raul Jimenez, obviously suffering that. Obviously, then you had the keeper knocked out by Connor Cody. But now look, unbelievable. Now look, Wolves will be back in. I think they'll be back next season. Neto, obviously now out injured. They've done okay. It wasn't great, but they've done okay. But no, I actually really feel for Nuno because I thought he was the perfect man for Wolves, but I feel that this season took its toll on him, and that's why he's left, which is a shame because you can clearly see how much Wolves means to Nuno. But yeah, it's one of them that be interesting to see how Wolves sort of come back from this. I hear they want to hire another Portuguese manager, so they're clearly keeping the Portuguese spirit within that team.
I think they've
they are
hired Sorry, Gunnar, go on now.
I was just going to say they are the Portugal B team, aren't they? So
they were looking at two managers. I think they were looking at the Braga one and the Porto one.
yeah,
And I think they've gone with the Braga one. I would have gone with the Porto one. I think how Porto are set up, I don't think individually they have the best players, but they're very well drilled and they caused us a few problems. You know, we only beat them 2-1 in the Champions League. So
they beat you. They beat Juventus with Ronaldo.
Yeah. Well, Juventus is shit.
He'd be another. I know Spurs might not like the style football, but that Porto manager, who I think is actually going to Napoli now, I think Tottenham should look at him as well. I think he'd be a good manager for them.
But they want potch ball. They want lots of entertaining bullshit that wins them nothing.
Exactly.
Remember,
no, that's what I mean.
You know what it is? Spurs are just very entitled. Spurs fans are very entitled at the moment, and they have no reason to be entitled.
I have no idea why they're so entitled. I mean, I was watching The Terrace, and I think she's called Elena. She wanted bloody Mourinho sacked and brought in bloody Harry Redknapp.
Jeez.
Like Redknapp, Harry bloody Redknapp. No.
We don't speak.
The thing is, though, normally when you've got a rebuild, you normally want to build towards something. Like, for example, Chelsea want to rebuild to win the Champions League at the weekend.
Sorry, this honest City fans killing me right now. What's going on?
And then you've got Manchester United, who eventually, when they get the glazes out, they want to rebuild towards a Premier League title. You've got Arsenal fans that even want to rebuild, even if they just win FA Cups, it's still winning something. You know what Liverpool did with Klopp, what Pep did with City. You know, like, what does Tottenham fans want to rebuild towards? Top 4? Is that all they want to rebuild towards? Because they're not going to rebuild towards trophies.
You get a trophy for top 4, don't you?
Yeah, you get a lovely. Well, to be fair, they'd rather get the top 4 money than a trophy. So,
FYI, guys, has anyone just quickly going off topic? Has anyone seen the new Conference League trophy?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it yet. Is it bad?
Rachel, imagine this. Imagine the Europa League trophy, but they've cut half of it off, and they've, instead of like having it all as like solid, they put like metal bars on the bottom. It's just like, I'll see if I can find a picture. It is so bad.
Fair, I actually think it looks a little bit nice. I can't lie.
Yeah, I think it looks nice as well. I don't know why.
I need to see a picture.
Based on looks,
I don't think it looks prestigious. I don't think it looks prestigious though. Like, for example, on the Europa League, you've got the like the flags and all the teams written on it or whatever. And on the Champions League, it's a very, it's massive. It's, it's shaped like a proper prestigious trophy. I don't think the Conference League looks like that, but I don't think it looks awful.
Yeah, it looks good, to be honest.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to find it now because I want to see what it looks
like.
It's
okay. I've got the picture. I'm going to send it to you now.
Oh, cheers.
Just sent it to you.
I've actually forgotten which team we're talking about.
We finished average, basically 5. Next, Newcastle.
Newcastle, guys, take it away. Will, you start.
That comment. Oh.
Yo, this honest City fan, bro. What are you doing with your life, bro? Come on.
I like this person.
Me too.
Great.
Especially after he called the Aguero moment overrated. I was like, come on.
Yeah,
that one really was funny, to be honest.
I don't think it looks too bad. It's not. I mean, it's not the Champions League trophy, but Europa League trophy isn't all that anyway. It's just it's just there, isn't it? The Conference League trophy. But yeah, yeah. Will, tell us about Newcastle. How would you rate their season?
Is Will even here?
Is he muted?
Oh no, Will's gone, I think.
All right, Hassam, go for it.
Newcastle standard, I'd say they were okay. They stayed up. Eventually, they got what they wanted. Obviously, Joe Zidane that they got on loan from Arsenal turned up. So, look, at the end of the day, they stayed up. Gonna give them standard. No, I can't give them standard because they don't spend money as well. I'm gonna give them a 6 out of 10. I think they've done well to actually finish above Palace and Wolves as well. So I'm gonna give them a 6.
You know, I think that's fair actually, because when you consider that they were basically in a relegation scrap and then they finished 12th, like they went on a pretty good run, got the points needed, and they finished on 45 points, which is decent considering where they were. They don't play nice football, but it was effective in the end. I guess that's what you can say about them, really. Naya, what do you think, Newcastle?
I mean, their owner is horrific.
Scum.
Their manager is Steve Bruce, so I don't really need to say much more on that, do I? I mean,
if you need help to get a number, just think of just everything you've just said, and they finished 12th above Palace and Wolves. That's how you.
I'm giving them a 10 out of 10 then. Like, I'm sorry, that's 10 out of 10, isn't it? They got Mike Ashley, Steve Bruce, and they managed to finish 12th. Like, God, build him a statue outside Premier League headquarters, because that is remarkable.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll respect and put some respect on Willock's name. He's done well for them. I don't know how many goals he scored, but he scored. I think he was at like what 7 or
7
8.
and 7. Mental. 7 and 7.
It's not put respect on his name. He's just found his level.
That's fair enough. Like obviously, he's just doing well for them, and he helped them stay up. So
it's a bit like Jesse Lingard, isn't it? So I'm not going to respect Jesse Lingard because I know he's a good player. He's just found his level.
Do you know what though? No, it's great that Willock's playing well because he took points off of the teams that Chelsea were competing with for top 4, and he also it's also another example of how players have left Arsenal and become better since leaving Arteta. So it's great.
That's actually horrific that Joe Willock has improved under Steve Bruce, but not Arteta. That says everything I want to say.
Yes, 100%.
All right then. Aston Villa. What do you guys think about Aston Villa this season?
I give them a 7. I thought they might go down, but don't get me wrong though. 6 of those 7 points are going to Jack Grealish. Okay, 6 of the 7 are going to Jack Grealish, and 1 can go to Dean Smith for getting him to stay. So yeah, I'll give him a 7 because a lot of people thought that they go down.
I feel like Will's just disrespected Dean Smith and Ollie Watkins.
I can't stand Dean Smith. I'm sorry, I can't stand Dean Smith.
McKinn's a decent player as well.
It's not about you can't stand him. It's about respecting a person who's doing well. He's a very good manager. You look at recruitment wise, Ollie Watkins was a steal. It was actually, I think, Dean Smith that brought him to Brentford, if I remember correctly. So yeah. Oh my goodness. This is brilliant. But yeah, Dean Smith's done a great job. His recruitment's been on point, and yeah, I suppose keeping Jack Grealish was mega important. So yeah, probably a 6.5.
Lightning spikes. Sorry.
I'd say 7 for Villa. I think they've done really well. They were safe all season. Even with Grealish out, they were still safe, so you have to big them up. And just going to say this quickly, like a side note on Grealish. I think the squads are going to get announced tomorrow for the Euros. If Southgate does not take Jack Grealish and start him, he needs to be sacked on the spot. That's all.
They're not being announced tomorrow. They're being announced on the 1st of June. Southgate's basically
I thought the provisional squads are tomorrow, though.
No, so he's doing is he's taking a fat ass squad. So he's taking everyone to a training camp per se, and then on the 1st of June he's going to narrow it down. Because Southgate is so much of a pussy, he can't tell Trent straight away that he's not going to take him. He's gonna let him stew for a week, and then he's going to tell him he's not going to take him. So.
Oh my god! No, what would you do though if he doesn't take Trent and Grealish, but he takes Greenwood? How would you feel?
Manager of the year, mate. Manager of the year.
Oh my goodness, the shamelessness.
Hey, I never said that I was never shameless. Like.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention Martinez. He's been a very good goalkeeper this season, and I think he's
good. Team of the
season. He's in for a shout for that as well. Definitely.
Not Ian Henderson.
No.
Oh,
We
my
don't
goodness
speak. We
gracious.
don't
I
speak.
can't stand Dean
God
Henderson.
have mercy
He
on my
is not
soul.
better. I'm confident with this as well. He shouldn't be in the England squad. I tell you that now. He shouldn't be in the England
Yes,
squad.
agreed.
He's not as good as Nick Pope. He's not as good as Sam Johnson. Pickford.
Well, do you know what it is? We
Yeah,
know
Pickford,
Pickford's probably going to go, so there's no point even mentioning the Pickford thing. He's going to go anyway
Yeah.
because Southgate seems to love him for some reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he'll start though. I'm not sure if he'll start.
Oh, he will. So basically,
He will.
Southgate.
You guys
Gets
know
an
Southgate, man. You guys know
Southgate
him.
gets an erection looking at Pickford in goal. Fucking
Yes.
loves it.
Yeah.
Like Southgate,
He
when he sees Eric Dyer and Pickford in his squad, he gets a fat ass hard on. I tell you.
Oh, Eric, yeah. God.
Let me start with Everton if we're at Everton now. I need to start with Everton. I need to start
Okay,
with Everton.
so Aston Villa 7 out of 10, yeah? We're saying
Yeah.
6 out of 10. Okay, cool. Everton,
Of course,
Sam, do you...
the Liverpool fan wants to bully Everton first.
Listen,
of course.
I'm not even gonna bully them. Like, Niall, you have to be honest. You as well have heard this statement every single summer. Everton have won the transfer window. Everton have a good manager. Everton have made a few good signings. Everton are going to trouble the top 4 teams. Everton might sneak into the Champions League positions. Everton need to win one of the domestic cups. Everton have a big chance to win the FA Cup this season. Blah, blah, blah. It's the same shit over and over and over. And it's the same story every single time. They won the league in September, and then they celebrated like they won the World Cup after they beat us at Anfield. And then what happens to them? They finished 10th. So they couldn't even get Conference League. They couldn't even get like a European like experience for the Everton fans. Nothing. It's the same shit we've heard every single year since I was a kid in the like Abu Dhabi sands, just running in the desert playing football. Like ever since those days, I've been hearing the same shit over and over. I'm just sick of it. Like now, honestly, if someone says any of the things I just mentioned to me, like I'm just gonna punch him straight in the face. If I like anyone says that.
Wait, Hassan. It's Everton's year next year. It's Everton's year next year. Okay,
Oh,
it's okay.
I mean, I
Everton-
obviously,
do you
I
know
can't
what?
really punch the camera, you know. So
I have huge respect for Everton. They are the biggest team
Oh
in the
my
Merseyside.
God.
They are the
okay.
team in Merseyside. Like
100%.
I mean, they're going to a new stadium. They have a better manager, and I mean, have you seen their goalkeeper? That man does all sorts of ungodly things.
100%. He makes the England manager erect, so I guess that does count for him. But Everton, look, after everything I've said, I honestly am not even like trying to be biased. I'm just gonna give them a 4 out of 10.
It must have hurt you saying 4 out of 10 after they smashed you 2-0 at Anfield.
Ooh, smashed us 2-0 at Anfield. How is 2-0 smashed? Like, come on. Smashed is like 4-0, 5-0, not 2-0.
To be fair, for a team that hasn't beat you in the 20th century at Anfield, in the 21st century at Anfield, I would say a 2-0 win at Anfield is probably a smashing. Like, to be brutally honest.
That's a good point, to be fair. That's a good point.
You did sort of let Everton, who haven't beat you in the 21st century at Anfield, beat you at
I can't
Anfield.
believe we beat them with our like under 21s last season in the FA Cup when Curtis Jones scored the winner.
I
then
can't
this
believe
season they-
I can't believe Divock Origi did crossbar challenge against Burnley. Like, what was he thinking?
That was such a bad game, man. I hope Burnley get relegated.
Nah, Everton have been they've been all right, haven't they? They're just plotting along.
Have they though?
And-
Have they been all right?
They've been all
Have
right.
Have
They've been
they?
plotting. They've been plotting along. They've just been doing.
Ah.
they've just been
I disagree. I disagree.
That
I think
wasn't the energy you showed. Like, just take yourself back to just before the ball was kicked in the Premier League. Was that? Are you showing the same energy? That's my question.
Yeah, but for me to be harsh on them, I'd have had to have expected them to do better. But I didn't.
I mean, obviously, you expected better than 10.
I expected them to get 7,
really?
so I'm going to give them a 5.
Yeah.
Maybe a 4.
Really?
Exactly, because when you looked at their summer signings as well, and you looked at the fact Ancelotti is their manager, you don't really look at all that and go like 10.
I always knew that this team weren't good enough. I mean, James Rodriguez is a great player, but man has got more injuries than you care to imagine. He's
Yeah,
a bit injured.
Do you know what it is? I think they've underachieved because they had a good start to the season. I know they fell off a little bit, but they fell off so much that they ended up 10th. Like Arsenal finished above them. That's
Yes.
I mean,
ridiculous.
that is quite humiliating. I mean,
Come
Arsenal
on,
are the worst
exactly.
team in
Yeah,
English history.
they should like if they finish 7th or 8th, I'd say cool. That's kind of where you'd expect them to be. They have some good players, but not a great squad, etc., etc. But to finish 10th is really bad.
They were only 3 points away from 7th. It's really tight in that midfield. Really tight.
Yeah, but they didn't get there. Did you show the same energy when we were only 1 point away from winning the Premier League title? No, you said we didn't win it. So I'm going to say the same thing to you. I'm going to say they didn't finish 7th.
No,
They finished below Arsenal.
The difference is that Liverpool side were overrated.
Okay, that's not the point. The point is they finished below Arsenal. Just think of what me and you are about to say about Arteta and Arsenal, and they finished below Arsenal.
I don't know why we're arguing about Everton because I really want to talk about Arsenal. So can we hurry up?
Same. Yes.
But before we move on, I would just like to say, honest City fan, this is the most accurate thing you've said so far. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, he is overrated, to be fair.
Very overrated. Man cried at Aguero, but he's not used Aguero right in the past 3 or 4 years. So man's a fraud.
Sean Dyche, what was that? Yeah, that's right. I know how to use emojis.
Love it.
Yo, this comment from Lanzi is actually so spot on. I swear to God. The next comment after this one, man's just here, innit? That's basically Everton. I swear to God, that's literally Everton Football Club.
It's true. It's true. Okay, so before we get on to Niall's favorite team, we need to speak about Leeds.
Oh.
Sorry, Niall. Leeds finished 9th, 59 points.
Can I start on this one, Rachel?
Yeah, go for it. I mean, you're always starting, apparently. Let's go.
I'm gonna give them an 8. I think if you look at at the start of the season, maybe they're a bit overrated, but what Bielsa has done with that squad is unbelievable. They've played excellent football, unlike how everyone claimed that Sheffield United played excellent football under Wilder. Rubbish, it's a myth. They beat us 3-0 and they start getting loud, so I'm going to stand to them at every opportunity. But yeah, Leeds, how they finished 9th with that squad is unbelievable. Rafinha's been a great signing. Looks like a very good player. Somehow Bamford's actually... Did Bamford get double-digit goals?
I can check,
Yes.
but I think so.
Because I can't believe they got Bamford to double-digit goals in the Premier League. That's unbelievable. I can't believe that. You know, they've got an okay defence, which is not the 9th best defence in the league. You know, their midfield is okay as well. So what he got 9th. That is unbelievable, if I'm being honest. That is crazy good.
He got 17 goals?
17.
Yeah.
I think
17 goals. 17 goals, 7 assists.
In the Premier League?
Yes, Will, yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
Where have you been, Will? Where have you been?
I didn't know he got that much. How has Bamford got that many goal contributions? I can't believe it.
Leeds fans have been putting him in combined 11s every single
The thing is,
they've been putting Aguero on the bench and putting Bamford.
They're hypocrites because before this season they were slandering Bamford. He got like 4 goals in the Championship. I swear not last season, the season before. You know. But yeah, it's been a great season for them.
It's a very good return. That's ridiculous. He's got the same amount of goals as Son, and he got Player of the Season for Spurs. So that says it all. Yeah, and he got 7 assists as well. So it's not like he was contributing; he was creating as well.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good return. Like,
that is definitely a good return.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Leeds a 9, to be honest. I'm going to give them a 9 because people thought they were actually going to get relegated at the start of the season. So many people actually predicted Leeds relegation. Bielsa can't come in and play attacking football, blah, blah, blah. And then they come in, they play attacking football. First game in the Premier League, I still remember it till now, 4-3 at Anfield. They almost beat us as well. And that was with Van Dijk. So they played fantastic football. I think they definitely showed like how to come up in style and stay up in style. So I think I'm just going to give them a 9. I think they overachieved. They've done really, really well this season. And I think what's pissing Leeds, the only thing pissing Leeds fans off right now is the fact that Leeds are like everyone's like second team almost, and they want to be dirty Leeds who are hated by everyone. But unfortunately, that's not the case for them. I think that's the only thing
There'll
that's
always
bugging
be
them right
there'll
now.
always be dirty Leeds to me after what they sung about Frank Lampard. So there'll always be dirty Leeds.
Fair enough. But you sacked
That's
him
simple.
anyway, so.
Yeah, but I still love him. Although I didn't rate him as a manager, still love him.
That's fair enough. Well, everyone in the comments is 7.58, so they agree. You know, Leeds have done really well this season. I do like watching them play football, but I think it'll be an interesting summer for them to see who they recruit, because they sort out their defense a little bit and they balance between the two. They might start challenging probably
Rachel,
European.
they're
places
linked
faster.
with Rodrigo De Paul, who's apparently I don't watch Udinese often, but apparently he's a really good player. So if they get him, that'll be interesting.
He's linked with Inter. If you want to see his level, he actually is.
He's linked with
the
you
current
as well,
champion.
I think he's
he's linked with us as well. So if they do get that, that would actually be a steal, to be fair.
around 30 million as well, I think he'll cost. So be a good
Oh,
sign.
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Anyone got anything else to say before Niall has a time
They were
of his
just incredible. They were just incredible. Now, Arsenal, I am here for you. I'm very excited for this. Incredible. 10 out of 10, whatever.
Wait, so is Will going first?
I'll give them whatever it takes so that I can talk about this scumbags. So Scumbags FC. So you will be relegated within 5 years. Now, I want to look a bit more in depth at you. You bought Willian, player of the season for me. What a fucking player he was for you. Aubameyang, or shall I say Travis Scott? What a player for you. Utterly incredible. Keep him for years. Keep him for years. And then we've got Croydon De Bruyne. The only thing De Bruyne about him is his shoes, his boots, nothing else. His footballing ability is like Benteke. What else? Saka is the most overrated footballer in world football. He is nothing but a pace merchant. And can't finish. And in fact, he's got the finishing ability of Fred. Pepe is actually your most improved player, but it wasn't difficult. Did you see where he came from? Under Emery, he was horrific, so he could not get any worse. Rob Holding, Marnan's got a better hairline than that, and she's 85. What else? Hector Bellerin. Maybe go back to making videos, because footballer, not so much. What else? I mean, Kieran Tierney is your only hope, but he's always injured. And Bernd Leno, well, yeah, you got rid of Martinez and kept Leno. What? Wow. And just because of all of that, and you had the audacity to say you'd finish top 4 with that. Oh, I haven't even got on to Thomas Partey. Actually, about Thomas Partey, you had the audacity to use a Champions League football for his music video. How damn disrespectful do you have to be? Like, you used a Champions League football for a man that will never play Champions League football for your club because you're never in it. And FYI, you finished behind Spurs and out of Europe, which is the first time that's happened for 25 years. Yet I'm meant to believe that there's a process. The only process there is slipping down the table down to the Championship, to which I do have thumbnails ready for you for the North London derby. They'll be held at the Emirates in the Championship at Saturday at 12:30, because Sky will no doubt want to have that on Sky Sports. But I finished absolutely roasting them. And Mikel Arteta, keep him forever. What a manager.
Can I go next? I need to go into them as well. I need to go into Arsenal. Emile Smith-Rowe is a B Tech, not even a B Tech. What's the than a B Tech? Is a C Tech a thing? Is a C Tech
ungraded? He's ungraded.
He's an ungraded.
He has zero qualifications.
The only difference between Jack Grealish, the only similarity between Grealish and Smith-Rowe is that they both roll down their socks and don't wear shin pads. He's an overrated youngster. The fact that he's even in your player of the season discussion is embarrassing. You've got Arteta, who Arsenal fans are trying to say
Arsenal's player of the season.
Hold up. You didn't just say Smith-Rowe as player of the season.
No, I said Arsenal fans are considering him in their
Arsenal.
Arsenal player of the season.
Oh my god.
No,
He
I
was
rate
about to get
Saka,
triggered, you
so I'm
know.
not gonna
If
go
you
into
saw his
Saka.
face, he was about to get triggered. Like genuinely, the
Arsenal
man
fans,
was
you
about to
compared
get.
Aubameyang to Kane, embarrassing. So yeah, you're a shit club, and
Can we compare Aubameyang to Andre Ayew?
no, but
Oh wow!
at least Ayew's going to get promoted probably. So
Is this the gal? Has to be a gal.
Jack
Varane-
Grealish, Varane, and
Varane is
right.
joining the London
Mikel,
club.
stay away from hot things. Don't touch knives, and don't speak to strangers because you're clearly very ill.
To be fair though, Varane is going to go to London club, but it's going to be Chelsea. So you know,
He'll go to any. Do you know what? I think Crystal Palace have a better chance of signing Raphael Varane than Arsenal. Just chucking that out there.
Fuck's sake.
And Burnley for actually no, that's disrespectful. Hashtag football club are run better than Arsenal Football Club. Clip it.
Oh.
I think
Whatever.
both of you just ranted. Literally, none of you gave them a rating.
oh yeah, I'll give him a 4.
It's true. Wait, you gave them a 4. I'm surprised.
I'm giving them minus 500, and I don't know if we can do minuses, but I'm giving them minus 500. They expected
After everything you've said,
they expected Champions League football. They finished outside Europe. They expected Willian to rip up the Premier League. Yeah, he turned out to be shit. They expected Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to be anywhere near Harry Kane. Turned out to be shit.
Oh my god!
And that.
Actually, I'll give credit to Arteta for one thing. Yeah, I really rate Odegaard's potential, and I rate him as a player. So the fact that they didn't get the best out of Odegaard, and he's now going to go back to Real Madrid instead of signing him on a permanent, thanks a lot. So we don't have to watch a great player in the future play for Arsenal. So yeah, thanks Arteta.
That's fair enough. Hissam, you haven't had a chance to speak, so
Man, I know Rachel knows this already. Arsenal, to me personally, I think have the worst fans on planet Earth. The most shameless fan base, easily the worst fans on planet Earth. But look, I personally trust the process 100%. I really want Arteta to stay at the club. I think Arteta has done a fantastic job. Last year he came in, he won them the FA Cup, and then last season they finished 8th. So they said let's give him a full season, and then he finished 8th again. So I think you can see progress there. I trust in the process 100%. I definitely want Arteta to stay. Man, Arsenal are just a shit club, honestly. Like the fact, you know what's even more funny? They don't even have Europe next year, and they still won't finish top 4. Like I will literally donate my kidneys if they finish top 4. Like that's not happening. That's 100% not happening.
Someone clip that, please. Someone clip that.
oh,
Nah,
there's
don't
so
clip
much
that,
to clip.
fam.
There's
No,
so
no.
much to clip
Don't
from this,
clip.
and I'm enjoying it.
There's
I mean,
so much to do. After everything
will
Niall has just
literally-
said, after everything he's just said,
literally-
and me donating my kidneys is suddenly a clip thing.
I will literally wear an Exeter City shirt on a live stream
Oh my
if they
God.
get top 4.
Oh my god, clip
That
that,
is-
clip that.
That is
Yeah.
how confident I am
100%.
that those scumbags will not get top 4. In fact, they're not getting top 4. They're just going to go down and down and down and down until they're playing #United on a Friday night.
So, ratings?
4.
I said
shit,
minus
even
500.
I even haven't rated them. What the hell? I'm gonna go Arsenal 2, to be honest. Just think their shit. Like, there's nothing to say. They have a shit manager. They have shit players. The only 2 players who are okay in that team is Saka and Smith Rowe. That's it.
No,
Saka
Smith Rowe doesn't deserve to be in that.
I said okay though. Look
Okay,
at the
fair
word.
You know
fair.
what?
Okay.
I would be vaguely scared of criticizing their managers and players online, just in case their owners actually thought to sack them. But because their owners are Stan and Josh Kroenke, I have no issue because they've got jobs for life, haven't they? So well done. Oh, and yeah,
Arteta's saying.
trust the
Arteta's
process.
saying. You know, if you just want to like genuinely not banter them for a second, the fact Arteta is still in a job is
possible.
actually baffling. It genuinely is baffling.
It sums it
The
up for it, doesn't it?
The decisions he's made, and people just keep going on and on about Kroenke. we get that Kroenke is the bigger problem. We understand. But when you have 3 strikers on the bench, Villarreal away, your biggest game of the season,
Oh
and
my
you play
god, I
false
didn't even get to
nine,
talk about
you're
Villarreal.
moving like your prime Barcelona, like you as if you have like Leo Messi up top. When you're up top, I don't know, it was Odegaard or something, and then you play Xhaka left back. Like that's not Kroenke's fault, man.
Do you know what I hope happens?
Niall's crying.
You know what I hope happens?
You genuinely, I didn't get to talk about Villarreal. They played with 2 false nines
Yes,
This comment.
exactly.
against
I hope-
Unai Emery.
I
Oh,
hope
good
a
evening.
multi-billionaire-
Trust
I
the
hope
process and a
multi-billionaire-
spliff.
I hope a multi-billionaire Tottenham fan. I hope he buys 2 million Arsenal shirts, and he just burns them so the Kroenkes get all that money.
Like the fact that he had the audacity to go against Villarreal with no recognised striker, like
False 9, Xhaka left back. I'm sure Stan Kroenke didn't call him pre-game and go like, "Yo, you should play false 9, bro." And then he was like, "Oh yeah, Stan."
It wasn't even just 1 false 9. They played with 2. They had 2 false 9s, and they were that shit.
And then what's even worse is all they had to do was beat Villarreal 1-0 at home to qualify. 1-0. How easy is this to beat someone 1-0, bro? Just 1-0. Get 1 goal, scam a goal, and park the bus. They couldn't even get that.
And the best bit is the guy who actually looked like they had the ability to put the ball in the back of the net, they took off.
Yes.
In the second half.
He took off Aubameyang just after he hit the post. Arteta is a legend. I just wanted to say. Providing more comedy every single season. For us.
This is what you get for making me have one of the worst days of my life when you beat Frank Lampard's Chelsea in an FA Cup final, and you
they beat Chelsea as well.
This is what you get. Yeah, but that one was in the league and we still got top 4, so I don't really care about that one. When we win the Champions, if we win the Champions League, they can have their double over us. I don't care. But
if you
crushed
don't,
my dreams of winning a trophy of Frank Lampard, you prick.
I love how, like, you know, every fan base on planet Earth will unite to just like shame Arsenal.
Yeah.
I love.
But you know what it is? Arsenal fans bring it on themselves. Like the amount, when they bought Thomas Partey, and they're like, "We're finishing top 4, we can challenge for the league," and all this nonsense, and it just, it fell flat on their face. Although I'm quite impressed they actually got to 8th, didn't stay 10th, but it is what it is.
You know, the one thing that just shows you how shameless Arsenal fans are is just look at their combined 11s before they face anyone. They will sneak in 4 or 5 Arsenal players in there, like, and actually feel okay about it.
They tried sneaking in Chambers, Smith Rowe, and Saka into the England duo team. That was shameless. That was, in fact, the most shameless
thing. Callum Chambers.
Oh, it was because he could play across the back line. Oh,
brilliant stuff.
I've never.
France is terrified. Mbappe is shaking right now.
You've got players like Varane, and Varane's shaking at the prospect of playing against Emil Smith Rowe. You know.
Oh, definitely.
He is so shit. Like he is. Shit.
Did someone say
Ozil is buying his shirt as we speak?
Oh, it's Prime. Hey, Prime.
Prime. Hello, Prime. It's Prime. It's Prime.
Did he just?
Did someone say Arsenal slander?
Of course, Prime finds a way to get here before we finish up on Arsenal.
Yeah, Prime. We are currently rating Arsenal season out of 10. Everyone's sort of had their say and then some. So it's your time. It's your time to shine, Prime. Tell us how you feel about Arsenal season.
Well,
Also, pick up Dragon Deep in the chat.
Let me put it this way. I've been doing YouTube content stuff for about a year now, and the racial abuse I've got has been mostly from Arsenal fans. So they deserve this.
That's fair enough.
That's fair enough.
You know what?
I predicted this at the start of the season. I got called delusional and stuff like that. I don't have logic, yada yada yada. Then when I predict things and things come true, and people say, "Well, of course you predicted it." Well, maybe if you don't laugh at me in the first place, you wouldn't be so angry when it comes true.
That's fair enough. Prime, give us a number out of 10. How would you rate their season?
Where did
You're
they
allowed
finish?
to go into the minus.
They finished 8th, 61 points.
I predicted 7th. That was me being a bit generous. They were 15th for 2 months.
That's a
They
good
beat
point.
Chelsea twice, to be fair. They beat Man United. They broke Klopp. Gabriel's top 5 centre-backs in the Premier League. Smith Rowe's better than Havertz. Pepe's better than Pulisic. Apparently they have the best youngsters in the league as well. But their under-23s almost got relegated.
So, what's your rating, Prime?
For entertainment, I think it's been 10 out of 10.
Oh, definitely.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. So we're giving them a 10 out of 10, yeah, for their entertainment value.
For entertainment, but in all reality, look, you go into a season with an inexperienced manager who, because he won an FA Cup, has a lot more pressure on him. You give 350 mil to someone who's meant to be the best striker in the world or best goal scorer in the world, and he can't score in a brothel, essentially. You buy Willian, who's old, but he's still one of your best creators this season. Saka has underperformed. Martinelli barely plays because he's not fit. Smith Rowe, I know his stats may look decent, but a lot of them are Europa League minutes, so factor that in. The same with Pepe, Europa League minutes. Tierney's been so injured so much, and I love Tierney. In my opinion, he's the best left back in the league, but he's always injured, which is a shame.
The Arsenal fans come in after I've done my rant. Are you joking?
Exactly. That's the exact thing I'm just thinking.
To be fair, I did
Niall
tweet
just
it
said,
out.
man.
I tweeted out that you were slandering Arsenal. They probably avoided it for a bit.
No, let's be honest, yeah? Arsenal fans, they hate me the most. I'm the target.
No, Prime, I think you missed everything I said. Trust me, I think I now have the bounty on my head. It's a beautiful moment.
But the question is, Prime, what is your rating out of 10?
Yes, Rob, what's your rating?
If it helps, you can go to minus. I gave them minus 500.
Yeah, if
I
it
gave
helps.
them 4.
Is Prime going to speak, or do we come back to you, Prime? I'll just have a look at the comments. Obviously, people are not happy about the Saka underperforming.
Saka's overrated.
6.5.
6.5.
Saka has underperformed this season.
He's also majorly overrated. He is in fact one of the worst players in the Premier League. He is.
Whoa.
No, he's not. No. Let's be serious. Saka's talented. He's great, but he's been underperforming this season. It's okay to say that.
The only reason I say he's overrated is because they all say that he's like this amazing player, but he's got the finishing ability of Benteke, like Liverpool Benteke. Not even good Benteke. Like he has the shooting ability of like literally Liverpool Benteke. I mean, I could say and Liverpool Andy Carroll as well, but yeah, he's overrated.
I think Saka is the second best youngster in the league after Foden, in my opinion.
No, that's just simply.
Yeah, I genuinely think that. I think Saka is actually a really good player.
According to Arsenal fans, Martinelli's better. So
yes,
maybe
he's probably the 6th or 7th best youngster in the Prem.
Prime, you've given them 6.5 though.
Yeah, I think the rate was. I know you said you predicted it, but still.
Yeah, but
you predicted 7
again.
And they underachieved.
But everyone's shocked by this. I'm not. So
No,
it's like,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying you predicted them to finish 7th. You said, right? They finished below your expectations, but you've given them a 6.5. I would
yeah,
have.
but I said 7th based on a bit of giving a bit of respect towards Arsenal. I wanted to put like 9th or 10th, but that would have been taking the piss, and I you know,
And that place was saved for Leicester, right?
Oh,
yeah. There's context with Leicester. Context.
We love Latimus.
Hey, to be fair, I was right about Leicester, by the way. They bottled it near the end, so I was right.
They did, but they didn't finish 9th. But yeah, I hear that. Velvishon thinks that Robertson, Deeney, and Shaw are the best 3 left backs in the league.
No, in order, it's Tierney, Shaw, Digne, then Robertson and Chilwell.
Oh my goodness gracious! He just put Lucas Digne below, above Robertson.
To be fair, there's a shout for putting Reguilon ahead of Robertson.
Oh, yes. Okay. You know what? No, I know where this is going, guys. No. I know where this is going.
For putting Henderson above De Bruyne.
Wait, hold on. Dizzy's comment: Saka's underperformed. You spend 160 mil on your forward players, but top scorers. Yeah. Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, they've all underperformed. Yeah, I agree. So is Saka.
Okay, guys, let's move on to Tottenham now. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. Tottenham finished 7th. Just as much of a banter club as Arsenal at this point, if I'm being honest with you. Guys, rate their season. Will, would you like to go first, since you're normally first anyway? Is Will here? Or has he gone to pee or something? All right, Hassam, you go first.
Oh, Will's not even here. Man, Tottenham, I swear to God, that decision to sack Mourinho in final week is worth a 0 out of 10 rating for their season, just for that decision by itself. That's like, imagine being a Tottenham fan, watching shit football the entire season, but the one thing you kept like in the back of your head is, oh, we might win a domestic trophy. And then like 5 days before the domestic trophy final, you sack Mourinho. That's literally the dumbest decision like in footballing history, along with giving Phil Jones a 5-year contract. So those two are tied for 2 worst decisions. So look, Tottenham just so shit, man. Like the players they have, they should be doing better. They should be in the top 4. But look, I'm just gonna give them a 2. Gonna give them a 2. I think 2 is fair enough for Tottenham.
All right, fair. Niall, what do you think?
Oh, wow. So Dele Alli has, instead of played football, shagged Pep's wife, sister.
Can I just add this? Can I just add that Aaron has more successful DMs than Dele Alli has goals in the Premier League?
So. You made that.
They got done past that, Aaron.
You've got Eric.
Guys, I think Niall's having a stroke.
You've got Eric Dyer, who is arguably the greatest defender Tottenham's ever had. Matt Doherty was signing the century for Spurs. Reguilon again turned into trash. Højbjerg had a purple patch, turned into trash. Your best defender is actually currently on a Zimmer frame because he's about 72. Your goalkeeper is about 95. Your fans wanted Mourinho sacked and Harry Redknapp brought in. So on that alone, that's horrific.
Not all their fans. Not all their fans.
Okay, most of them.
Just one. Just one. No, just one. That's one.
Okay, yeah, but I could get into Alex, but I'm not even going to talk about that fan. That fan is. No, I know it wasn't him. It was Elena, but he also has said some absolutely horrific things about about Tottenham. Their only shining light was Heung-min Son and Harry Kane. And Harry Kane's going to leave you. So, yeah, you have to give him. And then you sat Mourinho before a cup final, which is arguably the dumbest thing anyone has ever done in the history of football. So yeah, you can have a flat 0. But boy, Dele Alli has definitely got around quite a bit this year.
Dizzy says they deserve a 9 because they helped both Chelsea and Arsenal against Leicester. Obviously, Arsenal fans didn't want to play the Conference League, and Chelsea needed top 4, and that was the only way they would get it. So.
Conference League.
But to be fair, if Arsenal were in the Conference League, you might actually be successful. It is your level. Although I suppose no Europe is actually probably more your level. So.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah.
Gal decides to come in straight after we've moved away from Arsenal, of course.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
Niall, you know what's funny? After everything Niall has just said, all the Arsenal fans just came in like 5 minutes later. Like they weren't there when Niall was just going at Arsenal.
Speaking of Igal, Igal is the one who said on the terrace, after I think 5 games into this Premier League, that Gabriel is top 5 centre backs in the Prem, and he's better than Thiago Silva.
Oh, Igal. Oh, Igal.
There's proof, by the way. You can watch it. He said it. So.
Oh, he's just called me 2L people. Nice. But Dizzy says now try so hard to trigger Arsenal fans. I don't actually try that hard, but you lot are very easily triggered.
They are, to be fair. They
are very easily triggered.
Do you know what? To be fair to them, the logical Arsenal fans, and there are some, are very aware of where their club's at. It's just still so easy to banter them because it's just that funny, to be fair. Unfortunately.
I only know one.
Who's your one?
In your business.
Apologies for the dog. She likes to bark when I'm streaming. What can I say? She's a troll. She's an actual troll. Sure.
Dizzy, I'm not saying you're triggered, but half your fan base after I talk is triggered. Especially Leah Gal. He gets very triggered when I speak.
Wait, hold on. Felvishwan. No, this one. Actually, correction. Chelsea fans said on form. So it was about I think 2 or 3 months of form in the first 3 months of the Premier League or whatever it was, or 2 months. That Chilwell was the best left back in the Prem. On form is what? Because David even said it.
Chilwell's
on form.
You don't have to.
If you're going to try and banter back, get things right.
You don't have to address that comment. He spelt your name wrong.
And Chilwell's been good this year as well. So
prime.
Yeah, so you don't have to address him because he's not speaking to you, apparently. He's speaking to Prime, not Prime. Prime.
Vibes FC said, the dog basically said, gee, Conference League.
Oh, that was truly awful, Prime. Good job there, though. Sorry, guys, about my dog. She's just being a pleb, honestly. I don't even know where we're at the moment.
Spurs.
Have you guys finished slandering Spurs? Have you given me your ratings?
Well, I just said that Dele Alli is. I just said Dele Alli shagged Pep's wife, daughter, and sister. So yes, I've finished.
Jesus God.
Well, lucky guy, I guess. Anyway, can't. Wait. So, what was Tottenham's ratings for the season? Did you guys even
give him a 4? Give him a 4.
Okay, 4, Hassan?
Yeah, I give 4 as well, yeah. But not 2, I give 2 actually.
I can speak on Spurs.
Okay.
I can speak on Spurs.
You know what? Spurs fans have made me hate them more because of how stupid they've been about Jose.
Okay, that's fair. So Tottenham generally low ratings. We don't rate Spurs. Unfortunate fans. And we're on to West Ham now. Guys, West Ham finished 6th on 65 points. How would you rate their season? Because I think personally they've done very, very well.
They get a 9. They get a 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Europa League football. Moyes didn't get a striker as well. They didn't really back him properly. So
Mhm.
for what he's done,
Boy, I didn't
can't
get
give
to
him-
speak on Spurs.
Hey, Brian! For fuck's sake. You can have your 5 minutes after we finish. Like we're nearly at the end of this. We still need to do team of the season. My gosh, Arsenal and Spurs probably took up most of this stream. Honestly.
No.
All
It's
right.
not going to take long. It's not going to take long.
Okay, Prime, have your say. It's not going to take long. He doesn't speak.
FYI, I won't get them cancelled because I don't say anything that outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
And I use the
I'll
word
be honest,
allegedly.
Mm-hmm. Go on, Prime.
I do hope you guys win the Conference League. I genuinely hope you do, because the things I will do, I might guess is my
Is that all you have to say, Prime? You all good?
Oh yeah, their season. Listen, if they didn't sack Mourinho, because when they sacked him, he was in the cup final and 2 points away from fourth. So he could have got a top 4, or he could have won the final. You don't know, or he could have lost both. Who knows? But up until Mourinho, I would say 7.5, because it's exact. The season went exactly how I expected, more or less. But he got sacked. So when you factor in the Brian Mason element, then I'm gonna have to give it like a 4. It's quite embarrassing, really. But then again, Gareth Bale finished on more goals than what's his name, Aubameyang, and they ended St. Tottenham's Day. So I guess that's a win.
Mourinho actually managed Bale perfectly to get him in great form for the second half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't even want him, so credit to him for that.
That's fair enough. Gagandy,
And he turned
I agree
Harry
with
Kane
almost all
into
of
the
them,
best player in the
but
world.
there's a couple of people in there that really shouldn't be mentioned as sane Arsenal fans, but most of them are okay. Yeah. So are we good with Tottenham now? Yeah. Can we move on to West Ham?
Yeah.
Everyone all Spurs out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
West Ham,
9.
6th place. Yeah. So Will's got 9 out of 10. Anyone else agree or disagree or?
I'm giving them a 10 out of 10. The fact they went from 16th to 6th, and Moyes deserves manager of the season, not that bald fraud checkbook manager who finished in first place with a team that cost 900 billion. So I think Moyes deserves manager of the season. They've done really well. The fact they went from 16th to 6th is actually like not spoken about enough, and the fact they finished in Europa League positions is still an accomplishment, whether they had a chance at Champions League positions or not.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Niall, what do you think of West Ham season? Is he frozen?
I've no idea. It looks like
Yes.
it.
He is frozen. Arsenal fans have hacked him.
Look at his
Arsenal
face.
fans affected his Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Arsenal fans definitely have hacked his Wi-Fi.
Well,
Oh,
can't say this was coming.
wait, hold on, Rachel. Can I just say this? Yeah. Spurs fans love to claim that Jose's finished and he's a dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
In all reality, I think Spurs are the club that's finished. Especially if
I think they're
Mourinho
in
goes
trouble.
to Roma. Especially if Spurs goes to Roma and wins a trophy, which he very would.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I think Spurs are in a lot of trouble, to be honest with you, because I don't think they'll invest the money they get for Kane properly. So, welcome
Probably
back, Niall.
Tammy Abraham, wouldn't they? Probably Tammy Abraham.
Gal, stay away from my Wi-Fi.
No, read the comment.
When someone says Arsenal are third since Christmas. Ah, Gabby. Dear me, Gabby. Such bullshit. If only the season started in December, hey?
You know, I've always hated those sort of tables, like the halfway tables. They're really, honestly, there's just no point to them, is there? Like, it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
There is no points.
Yeah.
What do you get for it?
Obviously, people, please like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. I always forget to say it, so please like the video, or dislike it if you don't like it. But you know, hopefully you do like
Fuck
it.
you if you dislike it. Fuck you.
It's okay.
But Rachel,
All
you-
interactions are good interactions. And just want to quickly say, West Ham 10 out of 10. Moisey is the best manager in the league. Congratulations.
Yes, agreed.
All right.
This might be unpopular, but Moyes is not my manager of the season.
You're
Who
fraud.
is? You can't
He's
say
not.
Guardiola though. You can't say
Of course, it's
Guardiola.
Guardiola because he
No,
won
you
the
can't
league.
say him.
Oh,
You can't say
Will.
Right, guys,
He's
guys,
just won the
guys,
league
guys,
with no
guys,
accomplishment.
guys.
Okay,
We are going to do manager of the season, but please, can we
Okay,
just? This has gone on way too long.
I'm going to refer to him as William now instead of Will.
Prime, let's not do that. Don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. That is beyond disgusting.
What did Prime do?
Don't ever.
You know, that is big. That is live.
Damn it! I can't even freaking time it out. That's unfortunate.
Oh,
Sorry.
jeez.
This is what
Okay.
happens when you guys give me controls and I get bored. Sorry.
Yeah, I need to speak to Grandad Indy about revoking your rights. To be honest with you, you don't deserve any on this
Give
channel.
me the rights,
My
Rachel. Give
rights.
me the rights.
Leicester, guys, how would you rate their season?
Oh my goodness
They get
gracious.
a
God have mercy.
7.5 from me.
What?
Yeah, same.
7.5.
They've got hardly any depth. They're probably gonna invest to get some depth this year. To be fair, it looks like they're getting the overrated fraud Samari, but you know that's probably a good signing for Leicester overall because you know it's better than the defensive midfielder Mendy. So I'd give them a 7.5. I think Europa League football is now their expectation after finishing it for 2 seasons in a row. So I think, are we talking about Premier League only? Because if we're talking about them winning the FA Cup as well, I think 7.5 is really fair.
Yeah, it's just judging that team's entire season overall.
Yeah, I'd give them a
Position
7.5
trophies.
because they won the FA Cup and have achieved their league target. So
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's fair. Sam, what would you rate their season as?
I'm giving their season a 2 out of 10. I think
what?
the fact they've done this twice in a row now, like, okay, I'm not gonna give them a 2. I'm giving them a 4 because they won
They
the
won
FA
the
Cup.
FA
but-
Cup though.
Yeah,
They won it for the
yeah,
first
that's
time
why I
in
moved
history.
it up like by 2 points. But the fact that look, I've read I think a crazy stat that they've been in the top 4 for 240
You've got to give Liverpool
days.
less than a 4 then because they've won nothing.
No, because it's a different story with Liverpool.
It's not a different story.
we'll get
Leicester have
to
When we
had-
get to them,
guys,
I'll tell you. When we get to them, I'll tell you my point.
We'll get on to
Okay,
the.
with Leicester, they won the FA Cup, which is an achievement. But at the end of the day, 2 years in a row, like you've spent, I think, both of these seasons in the top 4. Exactly that number, 242 days in the top 4, and you don't finish top 4, and you were comfortably in it as well the entire time. And what makes matters worse is Chelsea lost to Villa as well on the last day, so all they had to do was beat Tottenham, who we just spent 15 minutes bantering about. So, like, man, Leicester just at the end of the day, there could be a mentality problem there. It's not just depth. It could be a mentality problem with the manager, with the players as well. So I'm just gonna give them a 4. I think they should have this season. Definitely, they should have finished top 4.
No, you know what, that's a fair point. To be honest with you, I understand that. Niall, how would you rate Leicester's season out of 10?
Well, I hope Hassan keeps the same energy for Liverpool because Leicester have also had very similar injuries. They had no Harvey Barnes. They've had no James Justin. They are key players. They had Maddison
was
out
out for
as
4
well.
months-ish.
Indeed, he's been out. Vardy has not been himself. So I do hope the same energy is kept. But I agree with William.
I like that
Shame
he's
on
calling
you,
me William.
Niall. With
No.
2 Ls.
The shame is on you for saying Pep. Unbelievable.
Agreed. The fact you say Pep is so shameless.
To be fair, though, I always just give manager of the year to whoever's won the league. So
That is so
Yeah.
fraudulent.
I would have given it to Klopp last season.
Guys, we are not on Manager of the Year yet. Come on, please. Okay, who hasn't done their rating yet? Is that Prime? Who's muted?
Yeah, fine.
And we'll take 10 hours just to say one sentence. Okay, we move on to Chelsea.
Rachel, I heard that. I mean, considering I predicted Leicester to finish 9th, and they beat Chelsea in the FA Cup final,
Well,
I'm gonna have to give their season a 9.
That's fair.
I think
No,
Rodgers has
that's
been brilliant, and he's so underrated. And maybe it's the fact just winning the FA Cup has made people rate him more. But when people try and say things like Poch is so amazing, but he hasn't done anything. But yeah, Rodgers is, especially after that title race with Liverpool, and then the following season when everything just fell apart, going to Celtic, rebuilding his career, I guess, and coming to Leicester and building when he probably could have taken the easy way out to go to a big club and take on an Arsenal or even Spurs he's being linked with now, and he's just rejected. Like, he's doing something special with Leicester, and if they build properly, especially when Pep leaves, Tuchel can get sacked any day with how stupid Chelsea fans are. Maybe he could win the league with Leicester, maybe. Or he could, if he invests properly, if the board invests properly with Leicester, which they do, he could win the Europa League or something. And that FA Cup is a big mentality boost. It's better than what Poch did at Spurs, where he was just getting top 4, but there was no mentality change with them. Winning a trophy really helps. So maybe it's what they need to push for top 4 next season, or maybe they win the Europa League next season and they finish like 5th or 6th, which will be a very good season. So yeah, I'll give him a 9.
Rodgers is another one better than Moyes this year, by the way.
I think he's been on power, Moyes.
Because he won a trophy. He won a trophy, so for me that always will go above everything.
It's not as simple as that, though.
It is though, because they finished high in the league and they won.
But you have to look at where the team started, man. Like if someone right now who's finished 17th in the league. Who's finished 17th in the league? Burnley.
That's cool.
If
but
someone
Rodgers,
takes Burnley
Rodgers
from
is a good-
17th
Rodgers is
to
a good enough
4th,
manager to not be
would
in
you
that
not say
position
that's more of
in
an
the first place.
achievement? No, but Leicester are in and around that area anyway.
Yeah, because
like
of Rodgers.
Leicester before Rodgers would finish 7th, 8th.
No, that's
Leicester
I
pre-Rodgers
can't.
would finish
Fifth and
7th, 8th.
an FA Cup will always be better than 6th, no matter who it is.
No,
Well, so many people literally predicted West Ham to get relegated. Literally relegated.
You need to look at
Unless they
context
still
of
achieve
what
more.
Moyes. Yeah, but you need to look at the context of what West Ham have achieved. I think so many people are underestimating what West Ham have achieved.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
Moyes is easily third best manager.
No, he's the best one this season.
Look, we're not there yet, and Rachel's gonna shout at us all if we carry on talking about this. But
I'm just eating my biscuits. It's fine. Go on, carry on. But everyone's doing ratings for Leicester though. On the ratings.
I agreed with William.
Actually, I'm going to give Leicester an 8.5 now I think about it. I'm going to give them an 8.5.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm going to give them a 9.
Okay.
I'm going to give them a 10. Who raises me?
Because I was going to give West Ham an 8. So actually, I gave them a 9, didn't I? Shit, I gave them a 9.
Yeah.
I'll give Leicester a 9.25.
Well, you don't have to go forward with this. It's okay. You can give them a lower rating.
Can we not have like more than one decimal place, please? Okay. All right, Chelsea, guys. Let's rate Chelsea season.
6.5.
Okay.
Because we're in the Champions League final,
6.13.
but if we win Champions League, it'll go up to a 10.
Oh my.
Okay. Niall, what would you rate Chelsea season out of 10?
Well, it's got to be split into 2, hasn't it? So under Lampard a 0, and then under Tuchel a 10. Like, if we're being real about it, because when Frank Lampard was there, Jesus, that was hard times for Chelsea.
They did lose an FA Cup final though. So would you say that would lower the rating for Tuchel?
Well, no, because at the end of the day, it wasn't Tuchel's fault. It was a weird one. Leicester are a good team as well. Like I think we mustn't forget that they finished a point behind Chelsea, so it was a close game, which you'd expect in an FA Cup final against a team that. Look, I think Leicester have cemented themselves into the top 6 and Arsenal have been removed. So now look, Chelsea under Lampard a 0, under Tuchel a 10. So sorted, easy, a 5. Split it down the middle, cut it in half.
All right, Sam, what would you say about Chelsea's season?
I'm gonna give Chelsea a 7. I think the fact that they finished top 4 is good, and they got to a Champions League final. Hopefully, they do win it. I think if they do win it, it definitely is a 10, 100%. Champions League is the most prestigious trophy. Look, finishing top 4 after that start with Lampard, I think is good, and I obviously the fact that in a Champions League final and the teams they had to face to get to that Champions League final, like the champions of La Liga, second place in La Liga as well, Madrid who knocked us out. So it's not easy the path they had to get to the final as well. So I am gonna give them a 7, and if they do win the Champions League, I agree with Will. It's definitely a 10. If they win the Champions League, it's 10, 100%.
No, that's fair enough.
Tuchel.
Prime?
Oh, sorry. Go on.
That's right.
Under Tuchel, I'd give Tuchel an 8 for what he's done so far. Though, if he wins UCL, perfect 10.
That's fair enough.
But our season overall is a 6.5, as what happened at the first half of the season. And if we just get top 4, for me, if we lose the UCL final, for me that's just a. If you look overall as a season, I'd say it was just an okay season, because top 4 is an expected requirement. It's not an achievement.
No, that's fair enough. Vibes FC says if Tuchel loses on Saturday, this will be his 3rd final loss in a row. Tuchel bottler Engender incoming.
That's what. Okay, but that doesn't change the fact he's won 2 more league titles at PSG, then Poch, 2 French Cups, and a German Cup with.
Hey, Will, I love Poch agendas, like, because he is a bit overrated, but he's only been there half a season, bro.
True, but to be fair, no, he was only 1 point behind. He was 1 point behind Lille.
Yeah, no. Look, Will, I love Poch agendas because he is way overrated, but he has only been there for half a season. So give him 2 more years. If he doesn't win 2 trophies, or if he doesn't absolutely had his way a load of trophies in the next 2 years, then yeah, you can say.
To be fair, though, I'm only saying that in spite to what's been said in the chat about Tuchel, because he's only been here for half a season as well. So
this is fair. Fair. That's why I gave Tuchel a 10 under his reign and Lampard a 0.
I love Tuchel. If we ever sack, if we go through a bad run and sack Tuchel next year, I'm going to be heartbroken.
I mean,
you're going to be Roman. You're going to be
no,
Roman.
I'll never be. I'm not. The only way I'd ever be Roman out is if he entered a Super League, made Stamford Bridge, but rebuilt Stamford Bridge somewhere else without the fans' permission, and then made our games abroad.
That's fair.
That'd be the only reason I'd be Roman out. Roman's done nothing. He pulled out of the Super League first, so I forgive him for that means nothing. Honest, I'm so tired of hearing people say that. It means nothing. That
Shut up, Rachel. You've got the Glazers.
Okay? Yeah, and we will cast the Glazers till the end of time. But don't make out like because he came out of it first that he's some sort of martyr or some shit. He entered it in the first place, and no one put a gun to his head. He could have made a stand, like the other clubs that didn't join it, but he chose to go into it anyway. So it's nonsense. Sorry, Will.
But if Tuchel was to get sacked, which I hope he does not, there's only one replacement for him.
Lampard return?
No.
Who's the
if God forbid Tuchel ever got sacked, I'd like Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah,
but God
enough.
forbid, I want Tuchel to stay. Tuchel in until the end, no matter what. Tuchel in.
How very un-Chelsea of you. Vibes FC says, I'm just saying that agenda will probably start. It's not really correct when you look at facts, but a lot of people who run agendas don't use facts. Yeah, I agree.
But I run a Rashford agenda, and I'll admit I have a massive agenda against Rashford.
Yeah,
Trust me, if Greenwood somehow gets in this provisional squad, I'm going to say he's better than Rashford.
Okay. Dizzy is slowly lowering his ratings for Chelsea. It started off with 4. It's now at -6 because you lost to Arteta twice and conceded 5 to West Brom. He says, now relegate these bastards.
Dizzy, you know what's interesting? You're an Arsenal fan, yeah? You could times your amount of Champions Leagues by 1 billion and you'll still be behind us. Congrats.
Rory Roman out. That's funny. Prime, you haven't had your say about Chelsea yet. How would you rate their season out of 10?
6.5 expected, to be honest. Lampard's a bum. Tuchel came in and drastically improved us, but even still, we know we have deficiencies in this squad. We have wasteful forwards, so it's not just Werner, by the way. We have wasteful forwards in general, which means we need to create a plethora of chances for them to be able to score, but we don't create a plethora of chances. This squad we have is such a mismatch of players. We have players that suit one system and players that suit another, and it just doesn't mesh with each other.
Yeah.
People talk about how we don't have creativity from midfield and we can't really progress the ball or whatever. But yeah, we have a midfield of, I know we play 2, but we have 3 midfielders like Kante, Kovacic, and Jorginho, and they're not really forward-thinking players per se. They're not creative players. But yeah, Chelsea fans will want to complain that we can't create anything that doesn't make forward passes or whatever. But yeah, they don't understand the context of things. We have Aspie's been one of the best defenders in the past decade, but in the modern game now, fullbacks have to be able to bomb forward and cross, and he can't bomb forward all the time, even though his crossing is actually quite good. So he has to play centre back in a back 3, or Thiago Silva has to play, obviously, but the age he's at, he should not be playing week in, week out. Christensen, he's only good in a centre of a 3, but he's weak. He's got no pace. His reading of the game is average at best. He's good on the ball, but that's about it, and that's the only highlight from him. You have Zuma, who's big, strong, quick, got recovery pace and a great tackle, but he is a beta centre back and he needs to play in with a alpha, and he also cannot play in a back 3. You have Rudiger. He's a leader, yes, but he's also a beta centre back. I don't really think he's that good. He's a mistake away from falling apart, which maybe whatever, but you have Mendy, who's been great for us this season, but he can't play out of the back. You have Kepa, who can play out of the back, and he's good at instant reaction saves, but he's short, which means he's going to get beaten from a long shot every now and again. So it means we have to set up to stop people from taking long shots against us. Reece James, he's young and developing, but he's not ready now, and we need someone who's ready now. Or unless Chelsea fans are willing to wait, which means that's fine. But when these young players have inconsistent games, you can't complain. You can't moan because this is what you want. Chilwell, we need an improvement on left back.
Are you going to go through your entire squad?
I'm almost done.
Yeah, keep going.
Alonso, the only reason why he plays is because he's our only goal threat, which says something. He's our only goal threat. Emerson, he's probably the best out of the 3, to be fair, but he's a party animal. He cares more about women and Bundas than playing football, which is annoying. Well, not annoying. I like Bunda as well, but we continue. Kante, he's world class, yes, but he's always injured, so I can't really trust him, can I?
What's your rating for Chelsea?
Hold on, I'm almost done. Jorginho only works within particular systems. Kovacic, he's good, but
Prime, if I do this for Liverpool, we've had 23 injuries. I'm gonna do this for 46 players.
There's a point to what I'm getting at. I'm almost done. Okay. Werner, I've watched him in the Bundesliga. I know what he is. He needs a plethora of chances to score because he's going to miss a lot of chances. Havertz, I don't know about Havertz. He's going to be generational, but I don't know about Havertz, I'll be honest. Ziyech, I don't rate the guy. I think he's a bum. Chelsea fans got gas because he scored a long shot against Kepa, but yet they don't rate Kepa, so that doesn't make sense to me. Who else? Giroud, he should play a lot more, to be fair, but because he's old and leaving, it makes sense he doesn't play. Tammy, he's a bum. Mount is inconsistent, but he's supposedly our player of the year in a team that's also inconsistent. So, you know.
What about
Probably
Thiago Silva prime?
I already said Thiago Silva, you have to listen. Lampard's a bum, but to me was expected. He got outclassed in big games, which is not a surprise. Tuchel's come in and made us look like we can compete, but Lampard was right. We're 3 seasons away from actually dominating because there's clear deficiencies and holes in the squad. We spent 250 mil, and yet we still need to spend another 150 mil to this brother might go so long you start mentioning his family members. But anyway, what was your question?
Your rating, Chelsea?
I gave it
6.5. He said. Yeah.
Okay, 6.5. Congratulations, Prime. You have finished your essay. Who hasn't had their rating for Chelsea? Who hasn't rated them yet? Everyone good? Can we move on to Liverpool?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
wait,
No,
hold on.
no.
Can I just say this? Fuck Chelsea fans, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
It's your agendas. I don't like agendas.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
like Chelsea fans and their agendas. It's annoying.
Yeah,
They're
we
ruin
have
this Tuchel.
those
Not
fans.
you specifically, though.
I mean,
Well,
I don't
maybe
have
you, because you're
agendas.
the Pulisic agenda.
Yeah, but
Your
that's a
Pulisic
Hold on,
agenda
positive.
stinks, but yeah,
Will,
it's okay.
That's a
Will,
positive.
you,
agenda.
you hate a guy that feeds kids.
I don't hate him. I hope he has a good life and a nice diet, and I respect what he does off the pitch. I just don't rate him as a footballer.
That's
Disgrace.
fair enough. Okay, guys, Liverpool. Who would like to start with Liverpool?
Me.
All right, Will.
I'm going to give them a 7 because of the injuries that they've had. I know every team has injuries, but I think Klopp's actually done well to get them third, considering they were a few months ago. I think in the last 10 games they've got like 9 wins. Is that true? Or something like that?
8 and 10.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive considering where they were. So yeah, I'll give them a 7. At the start of the season, you'd say you probably expect them to get top 4 more comfortably, but you know things change. So yeah, I'll give them a 7.
No.
Oh, Niall's gonna try so hard now. He's gonna.
No,
try
I'm not
so
even going
hard.
to try, right? So most of this is on Jurgen Klopp. So it's actually mostly his fault. And
Yes,
I'll explain
correct.
why. It is entirely his fault. Yes, obviously you can mention the fact that you haven't got loads of people singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," which clearly makes Mane into a footballer because without fans he looks like Benteke or Andy Carroll. But the issue I've got is, yes, you've had injuries, as have other teams, and look, yes, you've had all of yours in your centre back area, but again, you were brutal with Leicester, who had injuries. So I say I have the same energy.
How many injuries did Leicester have, though?
They had like 4 or 5 key injuries to
We
key
had
players.
23.
Yes, but not all to your first team key players, are they?
No, they actually
Exactly.
factually every single one of them has gotten injured for at least 3 weeks.
Yes, but let's speak factually. In terms of the injuries, yes, you've had injuries, but the issue I've got is he put Fabinho and John Henderson in the centre, but he didn't trust Nat Phillips or Reece Williams. Now, is it a surprise that since you put Nat Phillips and Reece Williams in the back of your defence and you move Fabinho back into midfield to play alongside Thiago and Gini Wijnaldum, that you've looked like a better team, which is true. So I think Jurgen Klopp made a massive error there. What he did is he had a weaker defence anyway, so those injuries were never going to go away. So he had a weaker defence, which he then purposely weakened his midfield to put them in the back. Instead of just having a weak defence, he decided to weaken not only his defence but also his midfield. So Jurgen Klopp takes a lot of the blame. Most of your players, Mane has been absolutely horrific this season. I don't even know where he has been. Trent had a very poor start to the season, but has been very good in the second part. So I'm gonna give Liverpool a 5. It's not been horrific. I think a lot of those issues were forced by Klopp in terms of, yes, you had those injuries, but you decided to weaken your midfield as well as your defense. So yes, that's how I see it.
That's fair enough. Dizzy says overrated bunch, supposed to be the best Premier League team of all time, better than Mourinho's Chelsea, Wenger's Invincibles, the Great Trouble winning team, the Centurions, etc. I'm gonna let Hassan go last. This is his club. Prime, what do you make of Liverpool's season?
I'm just going to go through every player individually. Start with
I mean,
Alisson,
he's here.
Prime. Start with
Absolutely
Alisson and then
embarrassing.
make your way around.
Yeah, Prime, tell us about Liverpool. What do you think of Liverpool this season? Is he here?
No, I'm here.
Oh, so why
Liverpool
haven't you
think their
spoken?
problems stemmed with their injuries. I'm speaking. Liverpool think their problems stemmed with their injuries, but let's be honest. Van Dijk was meaty before he got injured as well. Anyway. But it's all of their problems this season. A majority of their problems this season is Klopp's fault. Liverpool fans have to be honest with that. They can't just try and scapegoat all these injuries, because I've seen clubs have injuries before and they still coped with them. Last season, people say Brendan Rodgers bottled it. He didn't. He had injuries in his squad, but that was not used as an excuse, because he bottled it apparently. Last season, when Man City had injuries in their squad, they couldn't use that as an excuse. Last season, when Pep's mother or Pep's family member died, that could not be used as an excuse. But this season, when Klopp's family member dies and Alisson's family member dies, we can all of a sudden we have to have sympathy and stuff like that. Why couldn't we have that last season with Man City? Why is it all of a sudden Liverpool is this special club because they win one league title comparable to Leicester and Blackburn Rovers? No, it's embarrassing. If you're a big club, do more. Probably borderline for top 4, and Klopp is this amazing Sir Alex Ferguson manager. He's not. The guy's not that great. Because I said this as soon as Van Dijk got injured. I still expect him to get top 4. I still expect him to be in and amongst it, or clear into top 4. But because he kept filling up, because he didn't trust any of his centre. If look at this season, if Mourinho was doing what Klopp did, he would get scapegoated by the media. If Wenger did what Klopp did this season, because of one injured centre-back playing a CDM at centre-back and stuff like that, Wenger would get scapegoated. If Pep did that, scapegoated by the media, because it's Klopp, it's okay. Because your season, you got top 4, so congratulations. I'll give it a 6.5.
I also forgot to add in the fact that when he was in the Champions League against Madrid, he blamed the stadium, not the performance of his players.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't like to scapegoat his players. I admit some of his excuses are pretty bad. But...
Everyone done?
Yeah. Hassan?
Is everyone done?
Take the floor.
Oh my God, the amount of jealousy, the hatred I just heard over there. Can't believe Klopp is getting blamed for a team having 23 injuries, which has never happened ever. You're saying like, oh, Liverpool need to deal with it. Not one team on planet Earth can deal with 23 injuries. Every single one of your players been out for at least 3 weeks. So basically, your entire starting 11 is injured. And when you're Klopp and you're put in that situation, I think it's normal to trust your senior players like Fabinho and Henderson before you look at inexperienced 17-year-old kids. So he tried a few different center back pairings. Some of them worked. And what would happen is with Klopp is he would try, for example, Fabinho and Henderson, or like Fabinho and Matip, etc. We'd win 2 games, and then we'd lose a game. Then one of them would get injured, so then he'd have to change the center back pairing again. Blah blah blah. So it's the volume of injuries is not normal for any team to deal with. So I think the fact that the amount of injuries we've had is genuinely an actual excuse because it's way too much. Second of all, in January he wasn't backed by FSG like he wanted to be backed. He actually wanted a serious center half, and they didn't buy him one. Third of all, Klopp's job is to put these players in a position to score goals. His job is not to go on the pitch and score those chances for them. If you've watched the games we've drawn this season, the games we've lost this season, every single game we've created clear-cut opportunities in front of goal to score. Klopp cannot go on the pitch and score those chances for them. His job is to put him in a position to get a 1v1 chance every game, and that's what he's done. So at the end of the day, Klopp is the last person I'd look at to blame. I'd look at the owners, I'd look at the injuries, I'd look at players being out of form, and very out of form, not just out of form for 2-3 games. We've had players who have been out of form for the entire season. So never mind the thing. When you look at it like in terms of everything that's happened this season, I say probably the Liverpool. I'd give Liverpool a 7 rating. I think I give Chelsea a 7. I'm giving Liverpool a 7 as well. The fact they finished 3rd as well and not just 4th is an achievement when you take everything into consideration.
So you mentioned injuries. I've just done a little bit of research. Can you explain why you gave Leicester a 4 when they've had 15 injuries this season to their players? 5 less than you. And you being the champions of England and all that stuff means you've got bigger depth and you've got more money, more everything. So you should be able to handle that. So can you explain why you didn't keep the same energy for Liverpool?
We have more money, but we don't spend it. That's the thing. We have more money, but we don't spend it.
You still have better depth than Leicester City Football Club. That's just fact.
And Leicester won more silverware as well.
Our depth is nowhere near like a good depth. I'd say. Like if you look at if I do what Prime just did. Okay, let's. You want me to go position by position? Who's the substitute for Alisson? Adrian. Who's the substitute for Trent? Nico Williams.
Yeah,
we already know the two centre halves.
I could do the same.
Who's the substitute for Fabinho? We don't have one.
I could do the same for Leicester, but
but I'm saying our depth isn't good either. We don't have better depth.
I get what you're saying, but they've only had 5 less injuries than you. So why was the same energy not kept?
7 less injuries than you. And look, the reason I said, and I said the reason for Leicester as well. I said the fact
hold on. It's Klopp.
I can't hear you.
Manu's got some dodgy in it,
yeah, he always cuts out. I don't know what's going on.
He's definitely. I would say
regarding Leicester. The reason
you said that you.
The reason I gave them a 4 is.
One at a time.
You said it's Klopp's job to put them in a position to score. No, it's a manager and coach's job to get the best out of your squad and to get as many points as possible in the season to achieve your goals. Klopp did. I mean, he stumbled over the line, but that's mainly due to Leicester bottling it and Chelsea dropping points as well. But if you're actually saying you're happy with this season, you're happy with Klopp playing midfielders at centre back, which weakens your midfield, it just weakens your attack. If you're happy with that, then fine. But for me, watching it as a neutral, it means that Klopp is not this world-class manager that people say that he is. Because I expect a world-class manager to handle Liverpool's situation a lot better than he did. Mourinho in his
Prime, the amount of blasphemy,
prime,
the amount of blasphemy you're
Fergie,
speaking.
prime Wenger would have handled Liverpool this season a lot better than Klopp did.
Yes, all of them would have handled Liverpool a lot better. Look, I've already explained my thing for the centre back pairings. I said he's tried different pairings, and it's normal to trust more senior players before you look at your youth. At the end of the day, Nat Phillips and Reece Williams are not experienced, and it's easier said than done. And we're currently in May. In January, Matip was fit, so he was playing him. It's not like he was playing Fabinho and Henderson together. That only happened one match this season. That only happened one time. So first of all, when it comes to the center back partnerships, he tried going with experience first, and then he realized, okay, I need Fabinho in midfield, so he dropped him back in midfield. And regarding Klopp, like what you said about Klopp and what you think a manager should do, in my opinion, were way too far apart. Because the same way last season when Sterling and all these like City forwards were missing chances, Guardiola came out himself in the press conferences and said, like, what do you expect me to do? Because his job is to create a system for them to get chances in front of goal. Now, if Klopp creates a system for Mane, for Mo, for Firmino to have chances in front of goal every single game, and they keep on missing it, it's not his fault that they're missing it. His job is to give them an opportunity to have a 1v1 chance. His job is not to go on the pitch and score the chance for them. And the reason I gave Leicester that low of a rating is the fact that they were in top 4 secure the entire season, and then they just fell off one more time, and having not learned from the experience of the year before. Whilst we were 12 points behind them, won 8 out of the last 10 games. That's why I gave us a 7. The same reason I give Chelsea a 7, even though they had a poor start.
Oh,
So
that's
if
fair.
Liverpool still won, well, you said 8 after the last 12 games, but Leicester didn't bottle it, and Liverpool finished 5th, would you still give your season a 7?
Why are you asking a hypothetical question that is irrelevant to anything we've just spoken about? Doesn't matter.
No, it's
matter.
relevant because it's a question I'm posing. It's a question I'm posing.
Yeah, but your question is irrelevant to anything I've just said, though. Like, why are you creating an if? If Van Dijk didn't get injured, we would have won the league. I could say that if as well and be like, oh, let's blame injuries. I think we would have won the league 100% because City's level is not on the title-winning level anyway.
And I know you would not have won the league, but okay.
You have like a crystal ball or something.
Well,
No.
they call me Nostradamus. They call me Nostradamus Prime, so yes.
No, we're talking about winning the league this season. We're talking about that. Like if Van Dijk didn't get injured this season, you'd have won the league this season.
No, that's I don't actually believe that.
The reason I would say no.
We're using a hypothetical question. He said if Leicester didn't bottle it.
No, I hear that. The only reason that you wouldn't have is the reason Man City won this year is because their squad depth is unheard of. It's just so strong, and they've been able to rotate players and all of that. They won it
was
because
that COVID incident during Christmas as well. Remember when they had a few days off when everyone else was still playing?
That arguably did help them. And I know, look, obviously they didn't make that up, or they probably did. Or I don't know. I don't like to accuse people, but look, it's one of them, and
Right. So the general consensus is Will did like a 7 out of 10. Hassam 7 out of 10. Niall, was it 5?
Yeah, I gave him a 5.
Okay.
Or was it a 6? I think it was a 5.
Okay, Prime, what was your rating for Liverpool?
Yes. Listen, they stumbled over the line and got top 4 because Leicester bottled it, so I have to give them a 7. But realistically, I think it's a 6.
Okay, so 6 it is. Also, we need to point out the fact that if Chelsea don't win the Champions League, then Liverpool have had a more successful season. Anyway, Manchester United. Guys, rate Manchester United's season out of 10.
8.5.
9.5.
Oh, that's ridiculously high. Okay, cool. Will, go first.
No. 9.5 if you win Europa, but 9 for now.
Yeah, that's why I've gone 8.5, because you're currently in the European final and finished second by quite comfortably. If you win it, I'll give you a 9. I think Ollie's done really well. Ollie's done really well with what
Ollie's
he's
been
had.
amazing.
Ollie's
Fam,
done
let
well
Will
with McFred. That is one of the worst. That is the worst double pivot I've seen. That is the worst midfield partnership I've seen in Manchester United history. It is shocking, absolutely awful, and especially how Maguire got injured and you still got second by that distance when Maguire's so crucial to progressing the ball because your midfielders aren't good enough to do it. I think it's quite impressive. Plus, all your fan base thought you'd get between 4th to 6th. So, he's overachieved in the league. He's in a European Cup final and he'll probably win it. So, yeah, I'll give him 8.5, but a 9 if you win it.
That's fair enough. Prime, obviously, you were saying something. So, what were you going to say?
I think it's been United fans are so stupid. It's how if this was Poch, or people are talking about Pep. So Pep or Klopp. You know how the narrative would be different from how you guys are in the group of death and you were in the position to go through, but you got knocked out. And the way the season has been turned around, people would be saying that this Manchester United manager should be manager of the season because of how they managed to turn the season around, because of how consistent they've been. How at one point they were top of the league, yes, but realistically they're never going to win up against this Man City team. And they're only 13 points off this Man City team, right? Or wrong?
12.
12 points. Okay, 12 points off. They finished ahead of this amazing best team in Premier League history, Liverpool team. They finished ahead of this 250 mil spent Chelsea team. They finished ahead of this amazing Leicester City team. Like Ollie should get. I think Ollie should have won Manager of the Year. I'll be honest. Or at least be in contention for it. Well, won it maybe not, but at least be in contention for it. Well, he's in a European final, and maybe he doesn't win it, but he can. And if he does win it, then what does everyone else?
Yeah, I'd say Ollie definitely overachieved.
He's not good enough because maybe he doesn't win the league. No, maybe not. Yeah, definitely, and maybe he doesn't win the league, but no one knows that for a fact. Next season, if City win the Champions League this season, next season they could fall off. United could invest properly and buy the targets that they need. Chelsea might fall off because we won't invest properly and maybe things fall apart with Tuchel. United could win the league next season, maybe. Or at least challenge.
Ollie's been brilliant. I think he's just behind David Moyes in Manager of the Year. Just because David Moyes and what he's done, the level of achievement that is. But Ollie is playing with the worst double pivot I've seen in world football. And don't forget, guys, I have watched League 2. So that says a lot there. They've got the best youngster in the league, in my opinion.
They don't have.
Here we go.
They do, Prime. Shut up. That is the most disgusting, vile thing you've ever said.
Mason Greenwood's not the best Mason in the league. Mount is clear.
Shut up, William. William, back in your box. You hate Marcus Rashford and he feeds kids.
I don't hate Marcus Rashford. I just don't.
You do. You hate Marcus Rashford for feeding kids. This is the narrative that I will forever be holding.
And they have a nice.
It's okay, Will. You can hate people for feeding kids. That's your prerogative. But in terms of football, Ollie's done an incredible job. As Prime said, if this was a Poch, then look, he would have. Oh my God! Can you block Prime, please? That is disgusting.
Gosh, Prime. It's on my Twitter Periscope as well. That's the worst part of it. People think I think this. Fuck's sake!
That is disgraceful.
Prime is banned, I swear.
Will is a Tory. He hates Rashford.
I'm not a Tory. For fuck's sake. For fuck's sake.
He is Boris Johnson's child.
No,
we know
no.
Will, is
I
your
will
dad
definitely
Boris
be
Johnson?
voting Labour in the next election. I'm not a Tory.
A bloody
Guys,
hope so.
guys, we still have to do team of the season. Can we try and like move
Yeah.
it along? Like,
Yeah, of course. Defensive, well, he's got Lindelof at the back, so of course, fucking, what's he meant to do with that? He's got Lindelof, McTominay, and Fred. Like, Jesus. If I was United, I'd give him the keys to City, ask him what he wants on the contract, and just sign it. 'Cause
Oh my god.
that man is, with that team, with Lindelof, with that double pivot, like, and that board, like, they bought him Van der Beek for absolutely no reason, because you can't play him without a
The
DM,
amount of blasphemy I'm hearing.
right?
Like,
And they bought him Cavani, which took him about 4 months to get into it. I do like Mason Mount, but I obviously like Greenwood more. But yeah, look, what Ollie's achieved with this squad, 10 out of 10.
oh my grace. God have mercy on my soul. May God have mercy on my soul, man. I can't believe the amount
I
of
swear,
blasphemy
I
I've
swear.
just heard. So much blasphemy. I've heard so much blasphemy from 2 people in a row regarding Oli. Like, I can't believe this. Prime, the same way you looked into your crystal ball, I'm going to look into mine and tell you that Oli is not winning the league with Man United. Oli will not win the league with Man United no matter what happens.
I didn't say he will. I didn't say
You
he
said
will.
you factually don't know that. I factually know that he won't win the league. I factually know for a fact he won't win the league. I think his squad is good enough to challenge Man City because Man City aren't playing at that level. Liverpool and Chelsea both dropped off. I had this conversation with Rachel as well. Those 13 points, when you look at the top 6, their results against the top 6, their form against the top 6 hasn't been good. And the way Oli has approached this game has been cowardice at best. The way he's approached these games.
Oh, that's harsh. That is very harsh.
No.
If you had a midfield of Fred and McTominay, you'd do. He
doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to play Fred and McTominay.
He's got
Matic,
best defensive
Who's he
midfielder.
Okay, then who's he fucking meant to play? Matic.
He doesn't have to play. He doesn't have to play Fred and McTominay.
Well, no,
he can.
Just for you keeping saying that, who would he play then?
You can play Donny van de Beek there. And when you play Donny van de Beek there, you would defend by keeping the ball instead of having a destroyer.
Who's gonna play the DM? That's gonna stop the centre backs from being exposed. Because it's not just that double pivot. Like, don't forget that double pivot isn't just there to sort out the midfield. It's there to stop the defense from being opened up as easily because of the lack of pace within them 2 centre backs. So what does he do about that?
Yes, but I've just said if you play Donny van de Beek in the pivot,
I actually don't mind Pepe, but you've made me hate him now. Not hate him, dislike him.
You defend by controlling the game, the ball, etc.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day, that double pivot is the same reason he's in second place right now because
the thing is, you can't say they can play based. You can't play the same football as Chelsea do or Man City do if you don't have someone like Jorginho or Rodri, or you have a Kovacic.
But they have arguably you could argue 2 of the top 3 midfielders in the league, 2 of the top 4 midfielders in the league.
Yeah, but
in Bruno and Pogba.
Bruno's not going to Bruno. There's no point mentioning Bruno because that wouldn't be Bruno's role anyway. And Pogba, yes, he is probably the best he's probably top 2 midfielders in the league, one of the best in the world. But again, next to Fred or Matic, you're still not going to play that way.
I think his approach against the top 6, and I spoke on this.
I'm so over Prime. All right, sorry. Carry on speaking.
I was gonna say his approach against the top 6, and I on this channel as well. When I did a show, I think 3 or 4 days ago, and I spoke about it. I think his approach against the top 6 hasn't been good this season, and the game against Anfield was the start where I was like, come on, man, because he after all the injuries we've had and everything, we've been in horrible form. He comes and he defends. If he would have had a go, he would have easily won the game. And I think losing against Arsenal, all these few 4 or 5 games make a difference at the end of the season.
He did quite well against you in the FA Cup at Old Trafford, though.
Yes, but
opens
this
up
is
a
the
fair
Premier
few
League, though. We are talking about the Premier League.
Yeah, but we included the FA Cup for Leicester. We've spoken about Champions League for Chelsea, so we can include other competitions. I thought he did very well in the FA Cup against you.
But he didn't win the FA Cup, though.
Doesn't matter. Against you, a team that you say that top 6 plays this negative ass football, he seemed to play quite good against you.
Okay, but once again, I'm talking about the Premier League. And when you talk about him getting to a European final...
So can we then remove the time we spoke about the FA Cup for Leicester? So that now needs to be removed. We also now need to remove what Chelsea
No,
and
because
United
Leicester won it.
in the European... Well, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, if we're just talking about the Premier League... No, it's called keeping the same energy. If we're talking about just the Premier League, then cool, we'll just talk about the Premier League. But if we're going to talk about the FA Cup, then if we're going to include other competitions, that's cool. But if we're just going to talk about the Premier League, we need to remove what we said about Leicester and what we said about Chelsea in terms of the other competitions.
I did not say just talk about the Premier League. I said I was just talking about the Premier League. I'm talking about his approach against the top 6 in the Premier League, because I'm talking about the context of the Premier League right now. The fact that he got to a European final, once again, when you look at the context of that, he was top of the group. They were top of the group with PSG and Leipzig in it. And they basically lost against Istanbul Başakşehir, who are 17th in the Turkish league. So when you look at the
it was a shocking performance. It was utterly horrific. But
so when you look at the context of how they got to that European final, first of all, that's not the competition they started in to begin with. They dropped out from the Champions League, the better competition, because they weren't good enough. And then they got to the final via that, by being third after being top after 3 games. So context does matter. So it's not like they started in the Europa League and went all the way through. And regarding the league, I've said this to Rachel as well. She disagrees, but this is my opinion. I thought this season was their best season to challenge. I think this season, at the start of the season, if you spoke to any Premier League fan, they would have easily, they would have said the top 3 would be City, Liverpool, Chelsea. And
sorry, this comment made me laugh.
Yeah. They would have said Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and Liverpool dropped off, Chelsea dropped off, and City dropped off at the start. And at the end of the day, they didn't win or challenge or anything. So you can't really say they had a good season.
The thing is, they were never going to win the league, and this is never their best opportunity to win the league, because the league was always.
If they had a better manager, they would have.
No. One minute. This league was always going to be won by the team who had the best depth. Right, this was always, because of the amount of games, how relentless the whole schedule was. It was always going to be won by who had the best depth. That's just factual. Has United slipped up? Yes, but we can also flip that. They're unbeaten away for the entire season. No other team has done that, right? No other team has had the away form United have had, right? The amount of comebacks they've made, incredible. Never been seen in a Premier League season before. That also goes down to Ollie and down to the mentality at Manchester United that Ollie is instilling. And we also have to remember that United are nearing the end of their rebuild. They're maybe 4, 5, 6 players away from probably finalising that rebuild. But I think you were very lenient on Jurgen and on Liverpool. You were brutal on Leicester. It's just maintain the same energy. That's all I'm saying. Maintain the same energy. So if you're going to be brutal on Leicester,
I have maintained the same energy because I've given explanations. I've given explanations for everything I've said. For example, I didn't rate Liverpool's season higher than West Ham's just because they finished above them. I did keep the same energy, and I gave you reasons for every single one of them. I said Leicester have been in the top 4 for 264 days over the past 2 years, and have not finished in the top 4.
They have had injuries at the worst times of
I understand, but what I'm telling you is you can't do that 2 seasons in a row, though. You can't be in the top 4 comfortably and then just drop off massively. And the example I gave you, when we compared depth, we don't have good depth either, but yet we climbed back into that position. That's why our rating was higher. And when I talk about United...
That's because you've got players like Mohamed Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Leicester have Luke Thomas. Like they have a Yuri Tielemans. Like you
Jamie
have a
Vardy.
Thiago.
Tielemans is brilliant.
Jamie Vardy
Tielemans
has
is getting
been
to our team.
Jamie Vardy has been a shell of his former self. A shell. All I'm saying
Yes,
is,
but
I
we
think
don't
Yeah,
have
but
United,
with that though, Mane's also been a shell of his former self as well.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
look, when it comes to United,
Firmino.
I've said it before with United, right? I think Ollie's done a good job this season. Our squad isn't good enough. We've got one world-class player in Paul Pogba. The rest are either top class, average, or just playing crap and shouldn't be at the club. And when it comes to the whole Champions League thing, I absolutely agree that in the position that we were in, we should have done a lot better than what we did. But at the same time, I can't sit here and blame Ollie for us getting knocked out of the Champions League, because the Istanbul game, our players just didn't turn up straight up. They decided they weren't going to defend. The PSG game, I mean, we all know what happened with Fred. And while we can blame Ollie for not taking him off, which he should have done, we also need to put the blame on Fred as well, because as far as I'm concerned, being booked in the first half does not give you the right to get sent off in the second. So for me, it's a thing where, you know, the players have a lot to blame as well, and some of it isn't Ollie's fault. And with the top six thing, there's a bit of a myth here about how we play against top six, because we're actually more offensive against top six now, except the top six teams are actually more defensive against us. Last season, we were straight up, park the bus, and counter. This season, we've actually tried to play, which is different to how we set up in previous seasons. So I don't think it's fair to say that we were cowardly in the top six teams, against the top six teams, sorry. I agree with the Liverpool one, though. We should have gone for it. I agree. Yes. But at the end of the day, you know, we got the draw, what it is at Anfield. Anfield is a very difficult place to go to, regardless of form. We've seen it in previous seasons when we were miles ahead of you guys, when we were winning Premier Leagues and you guys were sort of seventh and stuff. You know, you still beat us home and away at times. So it happens. You know, I think it's like what people say, isn't it, with like derby games, and that form is out of the window. So it doesn't matter. Sometimes just on a one-off game, you know, smaller teams can turn up. So I think Ollie's just done a very good job this season. And in terms of like,
he has done a good job. He has done a good job. That's not something I'm going against. All I'm saying is the context of like them actually getting to this point, regarding them dropping off from the Champions League to get to a European final. And in my opinion, I just thought, and I told you this before as well, I know we disagree, but I told you my thought process behind it, that they should have at least challenged City a bit more. Just challenge them a bit more, even if they didn't win it eventually. Maybe lose the league by like 4 or 5 points, maybe till the last game of the season, even though something like that. I think that would have been better for Ollie.
Just simply haven't had the depth, and I've maintained this. The winner is always going to be who had the more depth. If you look at Manchester City, they've got 2 first teams. So Pep was able to rotate pretty much fully on a regular basis and keep all of his players completely fresh throughout the entire season. Manchester United could not do that. If Ollie rests Bruno Fernandes, apart from yesterday, they lose. If he rests Harry Maguire, they're fucked. Like,
we've never rested him though, have we? I don't think we have rested him, apart from obviously he got injured. But yeah.
And that's the thing. I think United have had a fantastic season. Yeah, could it have been better? Yeah, of course. They could have beaten Crystal Palace away. They could have beaten Sheffield United at home. But I think in the context of what Ollie was given to play with this year, he's done a remarkable job. And I think United, with where they're at in terms of this rebuild, I think they've done very, very well.
Yeah.
Do you think they can actually win the league with Ollie though?
Yes.
I don't.
I don't either.
I don't think so. But I'm happy to be proven wrong, and I think he has every right to stay, obviously, for next season. Get his players to the summer transfer window and hopefully prove me wrong. Like, it's a win-win anyway. Like, if he wins the league, then it's great for us. It doesn't really matter. If not, then we get another manager, and hopefully with better players in the squad, we can progress again. Yeah, no, yeah. But the difference is, he
would have left you in a better spot though. And I suppose that's if whatever Ollie does, I think it has to be described as Ollie has been a success at United, regardless of if he wins the league title or not. Because look at where you were when he first took over to where you are now. Yeah. You are if he doesn't do it, which I think he will do it, if he's given time and the right backing, like all these top managers, he needs to be backed. And if he isn't backed, then of course he'll never achieve it. But regardless of what happens, if you're consistently top four, right, we also need to remember this is the first time that Manchester United have finished in the top four consistently since Fergie, which is remarkable stat. Like, as a kid, I would never have ever dreamt that would have been a thing. So the fact that Ollie's managed to do that as well in arguably the hardest season there's been, I think just more respect needs to go to United for what they've achieved. That's what
Definitely. I don't think me and you disagree, by the way. I think we actually do agree. I think Ollie is probably the middleman, I'd say, for the next guy to come in. Like, he's actually building this entire thing for the guy to come in after him and then win the league. I think he's basically the Rodgers to Klopp kind of. Like, build a foundation there and then have the next guy come in who's more experienced, can actually win league titles and win you the league. And what you've said is spot on. Like, basically, Ollie has left this club. If he leaves tomorrow, he's left it in a way better position than when he's got it. I think that's definitely a fact.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I would rate their season a 7.5. And if they win the Europa League, it's a 9. I say that's definitely that Europa League win would change everything. Yeah, I know. I was just talking about context, man.
Yeah. No, I think. Yeah, it's incredible. Ollie, I just really like Ollie. I mean, no one would have predicted Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be the guy to fix Manchester United. I just think United fans are the most disrespectful to him. He may not he may not dress the way you like, and yes, he may smile a bit too much, but he's
you have to admit he's annoying though, like in post-match interviews. Come on, you have to.
I never watch post-match, so I can't.
I don't really care. My manager.
I know, but he's annoying though. Like, he's a little bit annoying in those
I've had my manager literally after we've been on the absolutely horrific losing run and been smashed every goddamn minute of the day, and he's just come out and gone, the players gave it a all. The players have done everything they can. The players have been amazing. Fucking love my players. Oh, they tried. Like, it's just
they're 10 years old.
They deflect, don't they? They don't want to bring the pressure on the players. They deflect it. I'm used to dealing with, mate. I've had some managers call us fucking yobs for supporting our teams. So trust me, Ollie compared to some of the managers I've had to deal with is a fucking
fair enough.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I mean, yeah, I think Ollie's just done a very good job this season, and hopefully in the summer we can actually, buy a couple of important players and do something more useful next season. No embarrassments in the Champions League, and maybe even go for a title challenge. I don't think we will, but life is full of surprises and all that. Manchester City, guys. I was going to do the whole team of the season thing, but I think we'll save it for another day because it's 1:20. This is ridiculous. I can't believe what's happened in this stream, to be honest.
It's 3:20 a.m. for me right now, and I'm over here discussing Ollie like not winning the league.
That's ridiculous.
Can't write this shit.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Prime's pauses was responsible for like at least half of the time.
I also think Arsenal
and him going through Chelsea's players one by one. Imagine I did that for Liverpool. Alisson, Adrian, Kelleher, Trent, Nico Williams, Reece Williams, Matip. Every single one of them, man. Come on, Prime. You should do better.
We had an hour spent on Arsenal Tottenham.
Yes.
We had an hour on Prime.
That's ridiculous.
That was the worth it part of the. That was worth 1 hour, man. That was worth 3 hours. Never mind 1 hour.
That's true. But I want to thank Vibes and Shane because they've been here for ages. Especially Shane. I think Shane was here from the beginning, and obviously Arsenal FC, no Champions League 5 years running.
Yes,
as
Shane.
Well. So thank you guys. Yeah, and good night, Shane, because he's off to bed now anyway. Right, we're going to quickly talk about Manchester City. Not really much to say, to be honest, because they're Manchester City. But yeah, they are.
Context matters. I think when it comes to City, that's the most context matters team, I'd say. I am not going to make Guardiola manager of the season. I'm not going to say Man City I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10 because they won the league. No. At the end of the day, They have the best team. They've virtually faced no competition this entire season. They did their thing. They won it. So big up to them. I'm just gonna give them an 8. Not gonna be outrageous. An 8 is good.
Nah, do you know what the thing is? Is that an 8 if they don't win the Champions League? Because if they win the Champions League, it's a 10.
Whoa! If they win the Champions League, it's a 10, and it's me disappearing off Earth for like 1-2 days. Like, I can't stand Man City. You know, with United, it's a hatred, but there's a little bit of respect in the back of your head. With City, it's genuine hatred. Like, if City get liquidated tomorrow, I will celebrate. If United get liquidated, I'll be happy for 5 seconds. That's it.
If City win it, we're not going to hear much about it, are we? They have virtually no fans.
It's not about that.
No, I hear what you're saying. Look, their season, well done. You've spent millions of pounds on backup players. You've
won the league.
You've got 23 world-class players that probably could walk into any team in the Premier League. Kudos. No one can people stop making out that Pep's done a masterclass, right? In the hardest season where you've been playing every weekend, every weekday, every weekend, every weekday, every weekend for the whole fucking season. But you've got 23 world-class players. And yes, I know it's not your fault because you have the money, but grow up. Like, you've had a good season. Congratulations. Move on. You get an 8. If you win the Champions League, you can have a 10.
Oh.
And do you know what? If you win the Champions League and keep a clean sheet, you can have a chocolate fucking biscuit. Like, congratulations.
Oh my God.
You know what's funny? I'm a United fan, and I'm not even salty towards City at all. I'm not.
I'm not salty.
I'm really not.
I'm not.
No, but like
when they win the league, I
everyone
won't
speaks about the Oil Club. Yeah, but everyone
when
speaks
they win
about
the league, I'm
the
not.
Oil
Like,
Club.
genuinely, you just wake up the next day and then everything is normal. It's okay. Like, all of you just felt like absolute shit when we won the league last year. Like, it actually, like, it felt pain from inside because it means something. With City, you just look at them like lifting that league title. You're like, okay, congratulations. But I think the one thing that would actually make me salty is the Champions League. That Champions League would definitely make me salty, I think.
No, that's I don't know. I do you know what it is? It's just football now. You know, as a United fan, we had to deal with different challenges, and one of the first ones, like when I was growing up, was Chelsea, and Chelsea and City sort of represent the same type of club in terms of, you know, big boy owners coming in and transforming their clubs, and I just see it as a positive in some ways, because I like the idea of teams challenging, like multiple different teams. I mean, put it this way, right? You don't have City and bloody Chelsea in this league at the moment, where you have City probably maybe in League One or something, and then you have freaking Chelsea mid-table, which is what they used to be. You're going to have a bang average Arsenal team. You're going to have a bang average United team. You're going to have a Liverpool team that would go for a season like this with some very good players, but they still need to rebuild. And you're just going to have like a very average Premier League, because that's what the Premier League does. Because there's so much money in it, they do invite these sort of owners in, and they invite competition, and they increase the value of the Premier League. Otherwise, we'll end up like Bundesliga. You know, everyone wants this 50+1 rule, for example, and you're sitting there like, do we really want to be like the Bundesliga? Because I don't.
No, this is going down a completely different topic. I just think fan representation on the board, or something, just to stop these stupid owners from doing stupid things, probably is. Yeah. It's sort of like, maybe not this 50+1, but you definitely need that emergency stop button to, like, so you can just press it when the owner's done something catastrophically stupid. For example, Super League, you can just smash the emergency stop button, say to the owner, "You're a bit of a knob," and then fix the issue and go back to normal. Like, that's all they need. However that is, I don't know. I'm not paid enough to think about that. I'm not intelligent enough to think about that. I just feel there needs to be an emergency stop put in there, just to prevent it. But that's why
no, I hear that. So wait, what were the final ratings for City? 8 if they don't win the Champions League, and 10 if they do.
Yeah, around about that. Can I just say that the Europa League final is on Sir Matt Busby's birthday? Now, I don't do jinxes. It has to be written on Twitter for it to be a null jinx. But that's just, You just know on Matt Busby's birthday, I'm pretty sure another special day happened on Matt Busby's birthday as well. Oh yes, it may have been when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won you a Champions League final.
Oh shit, yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was.
So ironically, on the birthday of arguably one of your biggest and best managers pre-Fergie, and on the day that you won the treble and beat Bayern Munich. Why do I feel like there's going to be a last minute? Do you know what? You're going to start the game off really bad. You're going to go 1-0 down. Then Cavani is going to score the goal in the 92nd minute. Then there's going to be a corner taken by Luke Shaw. Cavani's going to get a toe onto it. Greenwood's going to be at the back post. He's going to put a leg out. And then there's going to be a goal. And I'm going to be unbearable because my boys just won you a European trophy. And United fans going to be unbearable because it's just a repeat of the 99.
No, I expect us to win it. And if we don't, then I'm going to be furious because we should be winning it. Simple as it with that one. I don't expect any surprises. I rate Emery. He's done well with Villarreal. He's good in the Europa League. He'll probably have a way to deal with us in that, but really and truly, we should just win it. So, yeah. Okay, we have. Yeah, exactly. That's true as well. We have been live for 2 hours and 45 minutes. We haven't done everything that we wanted to do. Thank you, Prime.
Thank you, Arsenal.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you, Spurs, as well. You've brought out the best and the worst of Niall and Hassam and Prime.
Oh my god!
So thank you for that, guys. Let everyone know where they can find you, Niall.
You can find me on Twitter at Niall_PAFC, triggering Arsenal fans on a daily basis because they're very triggerable. You can find me on my channel, Let's Talk Premier League. Got loads of different shows on there. Even got like a refs view with 2 qualified referees. That's pretty cool. Weekly review shows. Got individual club shows. Got like we tried doing tactics, but then I saw Rachel do tactics one day and I gave up because she was just like heads and shoulders above me. So I was like, I'm not even going to do that. If that's competition, fuck that.
Sorry, no.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not a problem. To be fair, I'm good at talking about tactics, but I'm more of a stat man. I can talk you through stats. Like, I'm quite good at that. Like comparing the stats with the eye test and all that. So there's going to be new shows. We're going to be doing the Euros as well. Covering all the home nations, a Euros weekly review show, an England show on a Friday.
More like weekly rants, but let's go.
Yeah, where no doubt we'll be bitching about Southgate for again and again and again and again.
Cheers, Niall. Hassam, let everyone know where they can find you.
Find me on YouTube at This Is Football, a general football channel. All football fans welcome. We just talk general football stuff, not necessarily specific topics. We just do random ass shows. We are very interactive. We answer all the live comments. We're a very interactive channel. And you can find me on Twitter at DonHussam6. The 6 stands for the 6 Champions League titles we won, which makes the United fans, feel a little bit inside. And I'm just gonna say, like, come on, Villarreal for that final, because it will hurt if United win that thing.
The 6 also stands for the amount of home games you lost in a row this season, isn't it?
Well,
that's a good response, but 6 Champions Leagues at the end of the day.
No. It's got a new meaning now, and it's gonna stay that way.
Oh my goodness!
All right, guys, thank you for coming on. Thank you for all the support in the chat. It's been a very long stream. Tomorrow we do have. What day is it today?
Next gen.
What day is it today? Actually,
you've got next.
Yeah. Okay.
Tuesday.
Yeah, we have next gen later on tonight, and we have fan views. So this is a live call-in show, and our live call-in shows always go a little bit mental, especially when Prime's there. So yeah, call in, and you can speak about whatever topic you want. It's literally going to be your show. So we're just there to laugh and try and maintain the peace. Yeah, but yeah, come and join us. I think it'll probably be about 10 to 10:30 as usual. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, go to sleep.